What is up? I hope you guys can hear me. Hope you guys can save me. I already know that the thing starts a little bit late, so just let me know when you guys can see me, you guys can hear me. We'll get this show on the road. I apologize for pushing it back a little bit. I had to get something fixed and it wasn't working right, so I'd rather fix it first before streaming. You know how that goes. All right, so let me tell that I'm going live. My Discord. If you guys haven't joined my Discord, by all means, feel free to join, but be happy to have you. Okay, it looks like we're good. Can one person just be like, "Hey, Poppin', I see you, dog." Anything. Let me get one of those. Let me get one of those. I'm still awake. Oh, I forgot you're in Australia. Okay, well, I'm guessing you can see me. That was confirmation right there. That was confirmation right there. Is the music too loud? Well, it's not really music, but it's the game sound. Is it too loud? Let me know. We are streaming from the computer, so my settings could be a little bit different than when I actually stream with console. So if it's messed up, let me know. And I forgot my controller. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm messing up. This is good because it gives you guys a few seconds to get ready. Also, I'll actually just bring up a replay real quick before we even hop into it, so everything's loaded and everything's good to go. All right. So if you guys didn't know what today's going to be, today is going to be our first Hero Huddle. This is going to be a workshop to help you guys improve at what you're doing. It's similar to the breakdown, but it's more concept focus, and it's more of a deep dive of that concept. It's not just an overview of a game, an overview of my game. It's nothing like that. It's more of the concept. And if you guys have seen the most recent series that I dropped on this channel, which was Hear My Thoughts, it's similar to that. You know how I was explaining and all that extra stuff, but sometimes it's hard for you to digest it as it's in the moment. You know, sometimes you do want to take that back bird's eye view. So not only is it going to help you be able to understand it more on that level, but it's also your gameplay, so you can understand your mistakes and things like that. So that's why I asked you guys to submit your replays, because I'm going to be going over your replays and we're going to be focusing on that. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Members, of course, have priority. So the first one up is going to be Ramazan. I don't know if you're here, but that's okay. So let's put this dude's code into the thing. As I said, I gotta be right back because I gotta get my controller. I don't like using the mouse and keyboard even for replays. It's butt for me. So we gotta get it going. I'm not gonna sit on a replay for like hours and hours. That's not the point. I don't want to rush through them either. It's more or less kind of just like we're gonna be glazing through it to get to the concept, and then after the concept is talked about, we'll move on to the next one. But I do have some stuff to ask and share with you guys later, and I got some more information, but let me grab my controller first, because your boy cannot do anything without his controller. Please enjoy this chair stream that I know you guys enjoy so much. All right, round of applause for chair stream. I mean, wasn't the chair run wonderful? I actually gotta do something real quick. You're like, Poppin', are you ever ready? I'm sorry. Real quick. All right, we're banging. We're good. Let's do this up. Let's do this up. Again, if the music and stuff is too loud, let me know. I will turn it down and shift it.
We'll be coming in 30 seconds.
Let me plug in my controller real quick, because just like I said, even when on replays, I'm not a fan. All right, again, I'm gonna be asking questions and whatnot. I'm gonna want this to kind of be interactive, but please do not feel forced to answer questions. If you don't answer questions, that's fine. I'm just gonna feel lonely, but it's fine. You don't need to answer questions. but I will be asking some just to kind of get your brain working and twerking. You know what I'm trying to say? So feel free to participate. So anyway, we're going to be looking at limit tart. So like I said, again, today is the day where we focus on taking space. Taking space is not something that just, well, let me ask you guys this. Let me give you guys a brief little question. So if I ask you guys a question, hopefully this works, because as I said before, I was testing some stuff, but I didn't test this. So if I ask you guys a question, right? The question is, let me see if you can see that first. You can. Okay, so the question is, how many, oops, I done messed up already. We're trolling. I was alt-tabbing. How many players does it take to make space? So if we're asking ourselves this question, what do you guys think? How many players does it take to theoretically make space? Now, creating space and taking space is different. We'll talk about that. But just to get you guys' brains twerking and working, how many players? Is it one? Is it all three? Is it six? Do we need to be cooperatively doing things? What do you guys think? How many players does it take to actually take that space? Or at least to create that space? Yeah, it's pretty much, you guys got it. It's pretty much one person, right? Because one person is all it takes to do anything. Taking space, or at least creating it, is pretty much moving someone out of the way. That's all it is. Now, when it comes to taking space, that's a little bit more of a team effort. Your tank can't just walk in by himself, right? So creating space and taking it is different. I just usually simplify it as taking space because that's what a lot of people understand more. But there definitely is a difference between the two. And I'm gonna share it with you right now. Stay strong. On this. Jesus, why is she so loud? What in the world? Galactica, relax. Okay. So, we understand it only takes one person to create space. What is the difference between creating space and taking space? Well, when we create space, we're just moving someone out of the way. We're not doing anything other than just saying, hey, I want to make this path for you. The easiest way to think about this is Cloak and Dagger, right? When Cloak and Dagger takes space with her ultimate, it's very obvious what she's doing, and to everybody around, it is also very obvious to their team. So she goes in, boom, co-op time, right? She goes to co-op time. What happens? Everybody's like, all right, let's scrap. That whole entire time, this area is flooded with that smoke. That is space created. The easiest way to think about creating space is through abilities. This is what we're doing. Every single time we're throwing stuff, we're poking and all that. It's not just to do damage and charge ultimate. That's just a simple way to think about it. But what we're doing is we're trying to push people away. We're trying to get them back. This is why when you learn to use your abilities, it doesn't matter which character you're using. When you learn to use your abilities properly, you can then push people back. You can then take that space. Now, got another question for you. Is all space equal? Is all space, if you could take space, and it doesn't matter where, if it's a space occupied by someone else and you decide to remove them from that situation, it doesn't matter which role you are, is that space equal to, let's just say, another space? If I wanted to Cloak and Dagger this, right? This is my goal. I got to get in there. Is this the same as if I Cloak and Dagger ult up here? What are the difference? Like, what's the difference? If there's no players here, but there's players here, is Cloak and Dagger ultimate equal if I ult here versus ulting up there to remove them from that area? Exactly. Y'all killing it. I don't even need to do this. Let's just wrap up early, take 5, take 10, just come back next week. Yeah, exactly. All space is not created equal. Now you might be thinking, Poppin, I know this already. I'm a freaking Celestial player. Yes, that's not just for you. All right, it's for everybody. We're all here to learn, but we got to start. We got to build the foundation, because if you're new to tanking or if you're new to the concept, you don't really understand all this stuff. So we got to kind of set the groundwork first. But that's why we have reviews. Don't worry, we're getting there. So that's exactly it, right? All space is not equal. You're taking space for a reason. Now, Do we just want to take space because they're occupying it? Or do we want to take space for a specific reason? When you ask yourself this question, this is going to allow you to be able to outplay the enemy. If we look at this Moon Knight right here, and we're on the opposite team, and we pop out and we notice him that he's there, what does taking this space actually allow us to do? Well, if old boy is chilling up here, and our whatever, I don't know, somebody just walks through, takes him down, and he moves down, we took that space. But if we have all melee characters that doesn't want to use the high ground, what's taking that space important? What do you guys think? Yes, taking this space was important, even though all of our characters don't use it. Or no, there's no reason to focus that. We should be focusing more about trying to get around inside the building and then trying to make stuff happen there. What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, you guys are killing it. You guys are killing it. I don't know why I'm asking questions. Yes, you have to take this space because this dude has an angle on your team. If you just simply ignore him, or if you go up there, take him out, and then you just leave, and then he goes right back, what is that doing? What is that doing? It's not doing anything. So now we're doing something called chain space taking. This is where you do more than just take that spot. This is something that you guys usually see me, and a lot of people generally have questions about it, whether I'm streaming or I am doing a video. They don't really understand how I took that space and then I'm doing more. Like, what is that? When you take space, it's not just about that area. You have to then take more and more and more if they keep giving you more. So let's just say I come up here, right? Moon Knight, get up out of here. This dude's like, oh my God, I'm scared. So then he runs over here and he's chilling. Boom. Is this mission accomplished? No, because if I drop down, what is this guy gonna do? Come right back up, say what's up. So we have to get this guy all the way out of here. And if he doesn't contest and he keeps running, well, then we have all this area. So now look, all the space that we get just because we push Moon Knight away. Not only do we get top area, this is ours, but we also get this area, which is ours. We also get this area. Now, obviously this stuff is breakable, so keep that in mind, but just act like it's not. We have all of this space to play because all we did was move that Moon Knight out the area. If, let's just say, Moon Knight backed up and he had someone here, well, we kind of are at a stalemate because if you're by yourself, you're not about to take on two players, you're at a stalemate. But at least this makes it so that your team can traverse underneath without really worrying about fire rain down on your team from up here. So you didn't take everything, but you took enough for your team to progress. Again, taking space is not just what they're occupying, but it's something to help you achieve a goal. So if we do that, our team can come up. Then we have to think about how do we go from there. I'm not going to keep going though. That's just, I don't want to overlap too much, but that's basically what it is. You take that initial space because it's important. It's preventing your team from doing something. If you can chain take space, which means you just keep giving us more, we're taking it. Well, now you have way more space than you were actually given. This is what I say all the time where I'm not really doing anything and people just walk away from the area. They're not contesting it. This is something that generally will frustrate high level players because if you are just giving up space, and I mean high level players, if you're just giving up space, bro, you're losing the game. If all you do is sit here and then they push you and you're scared and you keep doing this and this and this and this and you're just giving up so much space without contention, you're automatically going to lose the game. There's no way you win. You're going to lose the game. It's going to keep doing that until they get to the third point. This is what we want to prevent, and this is why you want to contest that space. We'll talk more about contesting. We'll talk more about when you should hold that and whatnot as we continue, but I just wanted to lay that groundwork for you guys to understand what it is taking space is, what it is when we create that space, how we go about doing it, and just kind of the importance of it, because it's not just something that we just talk about as players. It's you hear it a lot because it's important. But it's more than just you have 3 tanks, bro. If you lose this game, there's more than just it's why is there 3 tanks? It's more than just a word. It's more than just one concept. There's a lot attached to it. All right, so we're gaming, and I will periodically read chat, so feel free to ask your questions. I'm not gonna let it go. but I most likely won't stop mid speaking. So we're going through, we're just kind of doing our best. Let's look at this from an outside perspective. Look, this is already a problem. This is already a problem. There was nobody contesting this. If this was a high rank game, if you ever watch anyone top 500, you'll notice something really, really cool. I say that like I wasn't part of that, but regardless, it's still cool. What people will do is they'll check everything. There is no way anybody's about to sneak anywhere. They always check everywhere. If I were to walk out of this, and let's just say I'm a DPS player, you'll usually see them check and look up. They'll usually walk over here and look up. They're checking. They're trying to make sure that people aren't in the area. The fact that this guy was just able to just mosey about and just chill, this is a no-no. Because if he is able to do this, what happens? What happens if he's, now I don't want the simple answer. All right, really think about this. Yes, he can go to our back line. But if he's uncontested and he moves to this spot and your team needs help, him being here reduces what? If he's this close already, what does this reduce for your back line? Not space, not space. Think about it. If you're doing your job healing, I'm chilling, dude. I'm clapping heels with Luna Snow, right? I'm doing my thing. And this dude got past all of us. And he's right here, right now. What did that just reduce? It's not space. What happens when you see something? What, right? What is that called when you see something? And then you stop doing what you're doing and then you handle that. What is that called? Close. Attention. It's close. It's close. Y'all got it's attention. It's close. It's close. It's close. What is it? Nope. Y'all y'all overthinking it. It starts with an R. Starts with an R. What is it? What is it when people do things and something suddenly happens? What are they doing? Y'all, I'm gonna make y'all think because it's important, not resources. Boom, reaction, reaction, boom. That's what I was looking for. If this dude's right here, if he throws a spear right there, and let's just say Lemon Tart right here is Luna Snow, bro, how do you react to that? You can't. It's impossible. There's no way. KO'd. But let's just say we actually had someone who was up here. We actually had someone who was spotting, looking down. This fool appears right here. Ping, 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 ping. What did we just do for our entire team? We increased their reaction time. This is why we do not allow this stuff to happen. This is why backliners are always frustrated. It's not the fact that they can't handle it. Sometimes they can't, but in high ranks, you'll usually have players who understand how to play support to a T. And if they get KO'd, something happened. Most of the time, it's because nobody notified them that it was happening. It's very hard to react to anything that in this game that's an assassin type character because they're so fast at doing what they need to do. But if you spot them already, whether it's a assassin or even a flying character like Iron Man, if you spot these people, you increase the reaction time for your entire team. Everybody knows how to reposition, what they need to do to avoid this threat, to take out this threat. On top of that, let me tell you, let me give you a little something extra. If let's just say Lemon Tart was up here, she saw Black Panther, bro, what it do? She grabbed whatever, the crystal. This dude's now half HP. What did that do? Not only did we increase the reaction time because this dude is spotted, but we also made it so this guy gotta go to a health pack. His team has to heal him up. What if his team engages while this dude's half HP? This dude's either gonna engage and get blasted, or he's gonna wait. And if he waits, his whole team can get KO'd. What did we just do? We staggered that timer. Why? Because we just decided to sit in one spot to spot this dude from trying to assassinate our backline. That's all it took to have all those ramifications of a staggered death timer or a staggered KO timer. That's all it took. All it took. We always make the game so much more difficult than it has to be. And the lower rank you get, the more you see it. And obviously, if you're not a Smurf, you don't know this, but whenever I play, the amount of stuff that I see people type, it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter if I'm on PC or console, players just do so much. If they just think about the game at a simplistic level, what's the problem? This guy keeps coming and assassinating us. How is he getting to us? Through this hole in the wall. What do? Block the hole in the wall. What? It's easy. It's easy. But the problem is everybody's so invested. They're so invested with what they got to do. It's a team game. It doesn't mean rely on your team 24/7, but if you could prevent a threat from happening to your team, that's good enough. Because if he can't play the game, that's down one player. That's down a playmaker, right? If their only playmaker, and it's Black Panther. Their only playmaker is Black Panther because they have 3 supports. If he can't play the game, how do they get picks? If he can't play the game, how are we getting KOs? How are we making space? How are we forcing people back? Without this dude, it's not happening. So let's continue to watch. Let's continue to see. And we'll see what this guy does with the space that he was given. And let's see how long it takes for people to react to this player. My man going shopping right now. He's so close. Oh. So right now is when he's spotted. That's one of the moments. That's one of the moments where you just turn a corner. Oh God. What do you even do when you see a man looking like that? That is hilarious. All right, so he's half HP like we discussed. He comes in. He doesn't do anything. He gets snatched up. But look how much time this dude had to get a KO. If this guy was a real Black Panther player, he would have KO'd 2 to 3 people right then and there. Hands down. Because look how long it took for them to react. He's still on the ground. He just jumped. This dude would have been KO'd. 1,000%. Why? Because this dude was allowed to do whatever he wanted to do to get to a spot, to get behind the team, because nobody cared about holding these positions. You need to think about not only creating and taking space, but what space are you also just giving up for free? If they're pushing in, you really need to think about, okay, how do they get in? Every map has a few ways to get into certain spots, right? We have this spot. We have this spot down there that you can come out of. We have this spot over there on the right? And then we have this spot up here. So there's 4 locations, theoretically, that they can get through without being noticed. If we just hold here, we eliminate 1 space. 2. Your team already down here is eliminating the third space, right? Which means there's only 1 more space in the back. One of your supports should already be handling that. That's not really a tank's job or a DPS's job, more or less, unless you see them cross over from the other side. So we would have it all covered. This is why breaking through defenses is so difficult. This is why Penny is so strong. Penny is a type of character, and there's multiple characters in this game. Penny is the type of character that allows you to not know what you're doing and still helps you out. Holding space is what Penny does without actually having to do it. This is why it's so hard to get through her. It's equivalent to like a Doctor Strange that is very good at holding space. The difference is Doctor Strange has a shield and Penny just has mines. If people don't know how to deal with the mines, they can't get through. If people don't know how to deal with the Doctor Strange shield, they can't get through. So the fact that this guy just got through like that, it was cool. But then at this point, when you get him, you know, it's like, cool, we got him, great, all that extra good stuff. But by this point, the dude could get healed. By this point, your team's already broken formation. By this point, you already used all your abilities. You used your diamond form. He used his running thing. You also used your grab. He used his jump. I don't think she used anything other than just like the shield. But that's enough. If they had a Spider-Man or a Venom or anything else that could capitalize on all that, everybody would be wiped right here. Everybody wasted everything. Why? Because this guy was just allowed to mosey on back. This is why characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man, even if they aren't that great, they require everyone to play on their toes because they burn so many resources by just being there. Now, we obviously do not know what happened with that guy. At this point, I mean, it's not your problem, so to speak, right? We still got to hold that space. We don't want them to get through. Now, we do know that we lost a player. We lost a player, and the player that we lost was Doctor Strange. However, actually, I thought we lost one more. Am I troll? Oh, no, Moon Knight got brought back by Rocket. But we still have 2 tanks, so we're chilling. Still trying to hold that space, and we still know that Black Panther is chilling somewhere back here, right? At this moment, I'll go back a little bit. At this moment, do you think that Emma Frost should help out with that Black Panther? Or do you think that Emma Frost should hold people in front of her and allow that Black Panther to kind of just play in the back and hope that they can handle him by themselves? What do you guys think? What is the best option here? Should Emma help, or should we just stay focused on the front? Yeah, it's definitely better that we hold. Now, we have to think about, okay, the right answer is to hold Pop, and I got it. But now, how do we hold it? What is happening with Black Panther is back here. What is he doing? I always say this is why I hate Iron Man. What is Black Panther doing if he's back here? What is he taking away from your team at this moment when he jumps down? I'm failing, bro. That's all right. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Yes, he is taking heals, but what are heals called? Heals along with a lot of other stuff. It's a conglomeration. I can't even say it now. Conglomeration. What is it all called though? When you put all that in its bag, what is that bag called? If I can get you to use heals, use shields, abilities, boom, resources. This guy is taking up resources, which means that you don't have resources at this moment to play with. How do we hold a space without resources? Now, it's not a trick question. There's not really a right or wrong answer. I'm just trying to see where your guys' heads are. How do we hold space without resources? If resources is what keeps us, giving us the ability to actually hold space, how do we do that without resources? Okay, cover is a good one. Position is a good one. Limiting damage. I see some of the, you can't, you don't. Okay, again, there's no right or wrong answer. All right, this is something that is going to change based off how far you climb into the ranks, because you're going to be dealing with a different situation. So there's no right or wrong answer. I really want everybody to just kind of learn as we go. So trust, no right or wrong answer. Just what are your thoughts? If you were this tank right now, like, what are we going to do to hold this space? The realistic answer is kind of both right? You kind of can't, and if you are, you're gonna have to hold cover. This is what we're gonna call the push and pull. This is what you guys see me do a lot of the time. What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to gauge it from second to second. How long can you keep this space held? Sometimes, I'm not gonna go too far. How does a Black Panther attack you? Now, you might not know this dude's cooldowns, but like, what exactly does he do? If you had a basic understanding of Black Panther and his pattern, what is it that he usually does? Like, how does this combo go? Right. Mark, dash, dip. Right? That's pretty much all it is. So, if we go back to that question, how do we hold space without resources? How long do we realistically have to hold? Until Black Panther is KO'd, or until this dude is done with his combo, because he has to wait for it again. If a good Black Panther doesn't really have to, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, but like majority of them usually have a chill time because they're gonna get low or they just messed up. And if his whole backline gets KO'd, well, hey, there's nothing you can do about it. So our goal is to prevent them from pushing through for at least like 5 seconds. That is enough for him to be done, get low, leave, or that is enough for our team to KO him. So we're gonna count how long it takes for this dude once he hops in. So he's gonna hop in now. Was that 5 seconds? It was about 5 or 6 seconds, right? That's all we had to do to hold. Those 5 or 6 seconds. With those 5 to 6 seconds, let's see what our tank did. Because our goal right now is to hold. It is to do nothing else. We're not making plays. We're holding for that duration. So let's see what we do. Got a KO. Shouldn't have happened, but it happened. We're looking for another one. Shouldn't have happened, but it happened. What about this? What about those guys? So now we're going to be getting into the concept of good KOs and bad KOs. When you land a KO, this is what usually this is what a lot of DPS players get frustrated at. They're like, bro, I dropped 40 bombers and I lost. It's because not every KO is equal. Let's go back and see the KOs and let's see which KOs were the important ones. Because remember, our main focus was to hold our ground. It wasn't to do anything else for that duration. We got Emma. You didn't even really move. Cool. We look for Cloak and Dagger. I think that's a valuable KO because they don't have heals anymore. I mean, they do because they have 2 more. But like, realistically, that's still a good KO. Why would we KO these 2? At this particular moment, what exactly can these 2 do with these 2 over here? They're 2 characters that need sightlines, and one of them cannot reach that far. So realistically, why are we doing what we're doing right now? You wanted to stagger them? Okay, but if we end up KO'd because we wanted to stagger them, or we end up having our backline get destroyed because you wanted to stagger them, we lose at this point. Why do we take this chance when we already have the advantage? Getting KOs in this game, in any objective-based game, is not the priority. The priority is to hold the position or to get the point if you're on attack. That's it. These characters are just in your way. These characters are just trying to prevent you from doing what you're trying to do. That's all. That's all that they are. If we think about it this way, what are these 2 characters doing? Are they preventing you from holding? Are they preventing you from getting points in this specific location? Like what exactly are they doing to you? Nothing. They're doing nothing to you. So why do we chase? If we decide to turn around, not even turn around, you can just back up. But if you decide to back up and just back up and just back up, you also have a wall that you can use and abuse like Doctor Strange and just back up. You put your wall here, you flip around for a second, do some damage, continue to flip around, continue. When they start walking up, and let's just say right about there, you chilling. Boom, what's up, baby? Bam, boom, slam, slap, bow. All it takes. You're doing way too much, and this is what I'm saying. Lower rank players generally work way too hard. What are healers gonna do? They're gonna try to heal their team. Where's their team? In there. If they are gonna wanna heal their team, they're gonna have to be out of position. If they're out of position, you can get the KO. That ends up staggering. You're playing their game. They're not playing yours. This is why a lot of the times you'll hear me say when I'm playing Doctor Strange, you're out of position, I go right for you, KO'd, I go right back to where I was. I don't chase, I don't go for more, I go right back. Why? Because I don't have to. Get that concept into your head and you will be destroying. Emma is one of those characters that are very good at taking advantage of people that are just being dumb. But people can also get destroyed because Emma, if you do play her poorly, you're gonna get you know, it's kind of both ways. The double-edged sword. You can get taken advantage of and they can too. You chasing them is not how she works. She's not a chaser. Now you could say, well, I'm holding them off. That's true, but you still have a team. If we can KO these two, which is what you're effectively trying to do to stagger the timer here, it's still staggering. You're still accomplishing the same goal that you just said that you wanted to accomplish. It's just two different characters. So just when you do things like that, really just kind of think about really just think about what is my goal and what's the simplest way that I can do it. The way that you climb and carry ranks, because I see it in my comments all the time, they're like, you know, players in my rank are super hard to carry. Players in my rank are super bad. And it doesn't matter. It could be bronze, silver, gold, whatever, any rank. And they always say that. But the reason why you feel that way is because you're not making the game easier for your team. The easiest way to climb, the easiest way to get better, the easiest way to make it so that you win more games is to make the game easier for your team. If I'm pushing those two back, like I said, and I'm helping, and we're doing a 4v2, or I think it was 4, maybe 5, I think it was 4v2, is that easier for my team? Or is it easier for my team to handle a 3v2? I mean, that's I don't even need an answer, right? It's rhetorical. You already know. 4v2 is way better than 3v2. So why are we giving them a 3v2? You're trusting your team to be better than they are. And that's not to say that they suck. It's just why. If you can eliminate some of these issues that players are going to run into, why not do it? If Spider-Man is jumping around, why are you leaving to go do random stuff? If Black Panther's in your back line and you don't need to do anything, why are we not helping with Black Panther? This is something you're gonna have to learn to do, especially because I know you're wanting to reach really high ranks. I think you said you were Celestial last season. And I know you want to get higher than that. And this is going to be something you need to learn how to do on a case-by-case basis, on a second-by-second basis. You need to judge, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? It's going to be happening every single time. This is why I felt like doing that series of Hear My Thoughts was a very important series. And if you guys haven't checked it out, please check it out. I do them for each role. The frequency of which I switch what I want to do is pretty high. And this is in the low ranks. Imagine how it is in high ranks. I'm going to be switching much more. And if you guys have ever watched me play in high ranks on stream, you guys know I'm like, I'm going to do this. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. And even mid-play, I would abort the play because it's like, there's no way that I can do it. And I'll walk back. I'm testing things. The same concept. And you're going to need to learn how to do it. The higher you go, the faster you need to learn how to do it. The more repetitions you're going to have to just basically be asking yourself, what next? What next? What next? What next? With wall block. Okay, let's go back. When Emma ults, right? This is all tied to space. When Emma ults, what do you think the team is about to do right now? What do you guys think? If your Emma just popped an ult, what is your team going to do right now? What if you come back and the team takes the space? In that situation, they can't because you just eliminated one of the characters that is going to do that. If they do walk up, you just KO them because they're too close. You can hear them. You can hear them and you can see them. So if the healers do walk up, just snatch them. Bam, boom. The wall is right there next to you and you just take them out. Basically, you want them to feel a lot more safe than they are. And once they get a little bit too comfortable, you take them out every single time. You're going to push forward, push up, crowd. Yeah, they're going to try to capitalize on this ultimate. So if we are the Frost on our team, if we know that they're going to capitalize on the ultimate, who is going to capitalize on the ultimate? Now, you're not looking, but let's just see. We have a Thor, Invisible Woman, and Loki. What should we probably be doing if we know for a fact that they're going to capitalize? Is it run away and just kind of protect your team? Is it try to prevent them from pushing in? Is it to try to KO her before her team gets there? Like, what should we be doing? What's the better choice? Whether you're right or wrong, you know, this is why you play games, right? You want to get better. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and you learn from it. So Pathalo said nobody can contest, but she's too far from her team. That's not true. That's not true. They can contest. They can contest. But you are right. They're really far from her. In this particular instance, you do not need to retreat because the space that she's trying to take shouldn't be able to be taken. The one ability that she's using to create space is the ult. Look what happens when right here. What do we just do? What do we just do? What was she just using to take space? So this isn't space you can take anymore. Now this can be broken. I do understand that. I'm not stupid. But it buys your team enough time to reposition behind the wall. Whether it be this one or this one. From here on, we spot Thor. You have a form that prevents you from being CC'd. So what you want to do is look to go on this guy, not KO him, just get on this guy to tell this guy you're not about to do what you're about to do. Should she turn to you and she's like, oh, Emma's on my, what do you do? Use your abilities to your advantage. You blocked it, prevented her from taking space. If she turns to you, you go into diamond form. You're not going to be CC'd. Your team can still help you. She's not a threat to your team right now. The only threat to your team right now is that ultimate. Now, there is a Black Panther there, but, you know, we got to just work with what we got. If we all back up, this space is going to be given. And with the fact that you have a wall right here, you can go after this dude and chill. If this guy is like, oh, Emma, what are you doing? You're going to choke slam this dude and kick him. This dude's KO'd. You turn what they thought was a good play into a play of your own. You flipped the script, bro. You flipped the script. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. You play like that? Bro, you play like that? About to be rank 1 in 2 days. 2 days. They thought that they had a plan, and there was no plan. This is exactly why you think on second to second to second to second basis. Yes, theoretically, this ultimate would make you guys all retreat. But the fact that I'm playing Emma with the shield, the fact that our team is way over there, the fact that this guy is out of position and there's a wall right here, nothing's about to happen. Instead, we're focused on the wrong target. What are you gonna do to stop her from ulting? She's in ult. You can't. Why are we focusing her then? Well, I want to KO her before the duration. Well, I mean, she's KO. She shouldn't have been that close anyway. And you're not going to KO her before she KOs whoever just got caught. You know what I mean? Nothing you can do. But what you could do is focus on this guy, possibly get this dude KO'd before he's even over there, because he was here first. Maybe get this guy low, maybe get him KO'd. And then you just relieved a lot of the pressure off your team because you traded. We went for a trade. Sometimes in this game, there's not much you can do when things happen. Know what I mean? Like sometimes there's not much you can do in terms of, oh, they just popped their ult on us. So if you realistically can't do anything to avoid it, you have to do something to counter it. How do we counter it in that situation? Preventing them from doing that. Because look, the healers got in and ulted. If you were chilling right here and you saw Invisible Woman walk up, she's KO'd. There ain't no way. There's no way she survives. This is a wall. We can even go back, because I didn't really show it, but I just kind of had it in my mind.
Only 60 seconds left.
So I already knew that was gonna happen. That was so obvious because of just how that whole situation just got played before it even got played out. Where is the nuts? A little bit further back. 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 Sigma's here? Actually, don't even know where it's at anymore. I lost it. I lost it, chat. I'm troll. It's here. A little bit more. Oh, love it. How far did I go back? Holy moly! You're like popping. Learn how to control your thing. My bad. I didn't know I went that far back. That's ridiculous. Okay, here we are. Let's see where you would have been at this particular time. If you put your wall up like you did, dipped out over here, started focusing this guy, you're not trying to walk out, bruh. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. She thinks she's doing something right now. Choke slam her. Send her back 3 maps. That ult from her doesn't happen. She's spooked. That ult from her doesn't happen. And if it does, they're staggered anyway, and it doesn't have as much impact as it would have. This is what happens all the time. The tanks do weird stuff that causes the supports to just do even weirder stuff. And they always get out of position. It's up to you to spot this. If you were chilling right here, she would not have just walked right by you. Like, that's not happening. You're not about to walk past Emma that did not use Diamond Form yet. You trolling. She wouldn't be able to do this. This would never happen. Your team would have taken care of the Emma. Thor would have been taking, like, this just wouldn't have happened. Because that decision, you just lost this point. Now, obviously, other stuff could have been folded. I'm not saying it couldn't have. But what I'm just saying is, you didn't even try to prevent what was going to happen. You just kind of let it happen. And if you want to get better, if you want to climb, these are the things you need to pay attention to. You can't just let things happen. The more you let things happen, consider it a game wasted. If I let something happen in a match, I don't learn anything. Because imagine if you did try something and it kind of worked, but you still got KO'd. Well, the next time you tried it, alter it a little bit. Next time, alter it a little bit. And you eventually get to the point of what I was just thinking, where it's like, I've been through this scenario so many times. I know exactly what to do in this specific situation. Would it have worked? Who knows? But I know for a fact it has before. And I would just continue to try to do that repeatedly. And I know it might seem like a lot. It is a little bit rough. But the whole purpose of this is to get your guys' brains turning, get your gears turning. You guys could already see by the responses you've given me that you guys are clearly not on the same page, right? Some of you guys have more experience, some of you guys have less experience, some of you guys just think differently. But the fact that you're not all on the same page means that there's a lot of ways to approach a situation. You do what best benefits you and what you're particularly good at. That was an Emma Frost case. You can't do that if you were playing Penny. What I just explained, it's not happening, right? That was an Emma Frost case. However, y'all see, I already told you guys, Emma Frost doesn't click with me. I played a few hours of her when she was released. You know, I had a good time, but like, she's not part of my main roster on my main account. But did that stop me from dissecting that play and doing exactly what I would have done with Emma? No. Why? Because I understand how to play the game. And I've been through these situations plenty of times. I would have a different response for something like a Hulk. I'd have a different response for something like Cap, different response for something like Strange. All of it would be different. But you still understand the flow of the match. That is something that stays the same. You still understand what characters do. That stays the same. And you just gotta think on the fly. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns you guys may have before we hop into this next one? I'm going to be getting through them. I'm going to be getting through them. I don't want to spend too much time on replays. I want to try to get through as many as I can. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, let me know. If you guys got anything that you disagree with, let me know. I don't think I'm always right. A good discussion is healthy. If you guys are like Poppin, that I don't know Poppin, because let me know. I can help dissect it. Maybe I'll learn something. You know what I mean? You guys know I'm not one of those people that just like, I'm always right. I got all my accounts. No, I don't care. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So let me know what you guys thinking, and I'll try to dissect a little bit more for you. I'll do your replay next, Dreamer, just because you're an os. Yeah, that's fine. I got them all. I'll do Dreamers next though, because their time is way off. Don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. By the way, I'm going to be switching between Emma and Thor a couple of times. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend switching to characters you might not have down packed, mainly because if you start doing that, it's gonna make it hard for you to understand the game. Each character has different matchups. Each characters have different ways they need to play a situation, and the more that they add more characters, the more they have to learn. This is why I don't switch a lot of characters, and this is why I'm more of an advocate to like one tricking or at least two tricking, because there's too much to learn if you want to get to really high ranks. If you want to get to really high ranks without putting in a bajillion of hours, the best way to do that is to limit to what you're playing. That's the best way to do it. As much as people might think like, oh, you don't want to one trick, you need to learn how to swap. No, pick a character that you like. Maybe pick another character that you like. If I like DPS, I play Wolverine. Well, I need to have a backup because obviously Wolverine can't really do much to flyers. Yes, he could dash into the air, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. So you need to have a backup for that. Okay, well, my backup is Bucky. Why? Because he can handle those. Okay, cool. Now you got two characters that can kind of do the same thing. One is strong in one area, one is strong in the other. That's typically how you would balance that out, because not every character can pull off a well-rounded type of thing. You have support gameplays in queue? I actually don't know. I didn't ask for their role. I just popped in. But feel free to pop your go to my community post and just comment that. If you guys want to add your games, go to my community post, comment. It'll be there, and we'll put it through. So even if a healer KOs due to them being out of position, still try and hold that space? Yes. Yes, because you're probably going to end up, like, that's a point that's probably going to be lost anyway in that particular situation. It's not like, oh, you're moving back to reposition. You're going to lose that point. So if you can go for a trade, sometimes that's even better, because it will help stall the game out long enough for that person that just got KO'd to come back to point and win. I've held points against multiple people before, and you guys have seen it on stream, where like some people get picked, but I just do my best to hide and cover and fight and hide and cover and fight, where even if I do get KO'd, the entire team is back, and that's enough to hold off that point. So never just give up and retreat unless you really think it's off and it's like game over. And if it is the case, then KOing with your team is the best bet anyway. All right, so moving into this one, we're already getting ready. That Groot is fortified, bro. Dang, that dude said, I'm playing Fortnite. Bro, I'm ready with a roof at. I'm sorry. Anyway, so taking space against a flyer is going to be a little bit more difficult. I really hate going against flying characters, but you still have to learn how to do it properly. So Groot has a way of taking space just by putting stuff down, similar to Penny. Because he put things down, this allows this guy to just create as much space as he wants to. This is basically the space that he created for you guys, right? They can't shoot past it, they're chilling. If we are Doctor Strange right now, and we pushed up with Groot, before they just moved in, let me see if I can even like do it a little bit more. Let me see. If we can go back a little bit. All right, where is Groot? So right now, we're in, and we're just trying to hide behind cover. We're basically playing neutral. We're just basically saying, hey, you got your half, I got my half. Cool. As we play this out, Groot's like, boy, you better back up. What just happened, though? Did you guys catch it? I'm gonna play it one more time. What just happened? Right, I'm gonna pause it when it happens. Pay close attention. What just happened? I'm gonna show it from his angle. And I'm saying his as the character you're playing. I don't mean you, who you are. I don't know if you, okay, let me just not get into that. But from the perspective of Doctor Strange, what did we just notice? What did we just notice? We noticed a couple of things. If you guys can get this, if you guys can get this, you guys definitely are gods. There's multiple things that just happened that allows us to win right here. Multiple things that just happened that allowed us to win right there. What was it? We'll play it one more time. I'm gonna play it one more time slower. Then I'm gonna tell you guys. Mag used bubble, correct. Moon Knight jumped up and then jumped back down, correct. What else though? Remember, what is the concept for today? Taking space. For the most part, most of the time, which role is taking space? It's going to be the tanks, right? Where did Mag just go? What space is this guy holding right now? So why are we right there? Remember, when you think about taking space, every character has a little bubble around them. That bubble is the space they control. You're not going to enter that bubble because it's my space. If this guy's bubble is here, when he was technically right here, so it's spread it out in both directions, it's now over here. If he goes this way and we dip out this way, who's going to hold that space? Who's going to get KO'd? You win right there. Right there. That is what happens when you guys say, Poppin, I don't understand. What do you mean by they're out of position? That right there is how we win this. Right there. This is how I run over low ranks. There's no way. No way he should have bubbled. No way he should have jumped. No way Mag should have taken a space to the left instead of holding both sections as a solo tank. He just lost this game for his team. Or this round. Or not this round, but this fight, I mean. But what did we not do as the player? We did not take advantage of it. Why are we, what are we doing? What are we focusing this guy for? The thing about being a tank, and like every game, everybody wants to focus you. Why? Because you're the big guy. You're that guy that's like in the face. Like, what's up? What you need? But when it comes to a strategy game, doesn't matter which one it is, if there's heroes involved, you're not looking to take the guy out that takes forever to get taken out. You're looking to take out the person that can be taken out in a few seconds. You could charge your passive off this dude, reload, look at that guy, hit him about once or twice, one shot into a melee, you would KO him instantly. And that would be the fight over. Now, Rocket does have a beacon, but you just took the beacon out of the fight. Mag is gonna 1000% back up. Or what you can do is put your shield up and block the heals. What are they gonna do? Mag gets KO'd, the fight's over. You won the fight off of one play. One play. But you wait until this guy goes back. You wait until they end up getting their abilities back to do anything. This is a no-no. The easiest way to climb, the easiest way to win more games is to make it easier for your team. How would we make this easier for my team? Do the DPS's job. Moon Knight, what are you doing? Bam! Isn't it the DPS's job to make picks? Most of the time. But when people are that crazy, your tank can do it. Supports can do it too. This is what you're scanning for. This is what you're looking to make plays. You're not just sitting as a tank waiting for your team to do stuff. In high ranks, it kind of gets like that because it gets really boring. But in low ranks, when I say high ranks, it's like top 500. Like these players, you just wait for your DPS or your healer to do something. Like for real, most of the time. But when you're dealing with people that step out of position, and it does happen in high ranks, we're only human, you take advantage. You look for it now. But dude, he was done already. And you also had your Hawkeye take him out. What if your Hawkeye can't aim? What if your Moon Knight took out 2 of your backliners in that whole section that you prevented him from getting KO'd? You just lost that fight off of one little play you could have made. So things like that is what you want to think about. It's super free. So we go in, we use our abilities, we don't really accomplish anything. They backed out because Moon Knight got KO'd. But also our backline got exposed to Venom. Now we're looking out for the back. But now we turn our back. and now they just took over. Now you could say, let me ask you this, Lauren, what were you thinking in your head when this happened? Like what were your thoughts when they took over? Your backline kind of got smacked up a little bit. That guy is still trolling. What were you thinking in that actual moment? And be honest. Because like if I was in that situation and I didn't spot what I spotted in this replay, I would have just been like, bro, my team is trolling. How did Hawkeye get picked off? How did you guys KO the Venom? Makes no sense. I don't even understand how this happens. There's 4 of y'all right there. But that could have been prevented. How? We would have KO'd the Moon Knight. We would have blocked the heals. Venom would have been taken care of because he wouldn't have been getting healed by Rocket. They would have been able to all focus him. And when Groot walked up, you could have turned around. Groot would have held front line, and you would have just been dominating these guys back here. And you would have captured point. I do like what you're trying to do, but there's a time and place for everything. And although he was out of position, who else was out of position? Right? So in this moment, is he really out of position? Or are you out of position? In this moment, it's you. It's not him. It might look like it, but it's not. If they actually paid attention to what you were doing, you'd be KO'd. Or you would have made this a very hard fight for your team. But for some reason, they just didn't even care. They're just like, whatever. Look at, there's no way. Bro, I'd have been blasting you with Rocket. There's no way I'm up there. They're afraid of you even though you just used all of your abilities to do stuff. All they had to do was sit here. They can't get shot by your team, they just take you out. But they're afraid. The moon haunts you. Okay. I'm only laughing because I've been here. And now, Lauren, obviously you're gonna have to tell me. But when you play, do you sometimes get flustered and there's like too many things happening at one time? Because in your gameplay, that's what it looked like. But I've been there. Sometimes it's like, bro, what? There's like 80 things happening. What do I do? And when I was watching it, I relapsed. And I was like, that looks like me. If you or any other tank player, or actually any player, if you've ever been in a situation where you're like, I don't really know what to do right now because there's too many options. Pick what you want, stick with it. The more you start flipping around and looking for different targets and stuff like that, you're basically just going to make it a lot harder for you to play the game. So whenever you play, really focus on that one specific moment and that one specific play that you want to do, and just focus it. Hardcore focus it. All right, so we're looking to, I was gonna say, we're gonna walk to get the point, but we're putting down a portal. So retaking the point is actually pretty difficult because it's set up to prevent that from happening. When you put the portal down, put it in cover every single time, and honestly, put it in a situation where that they can choose what they want to do. I never force it. Right here, you kind of force them to fight here, but if you portal, you're gonna put them in a different spot, which allows them to kind of choose. It's just a little strange thing that I just thought I should mention. That's all. All right, so back to taking space. We have high ground. Technically, we have a lot of space to work with. We know that Storm is about to ult though, so we might not have it anymore. Oh, their Storm ulted too. Bro, what is happening? This is wild. Okay, you didn't really have to do anything. We just got the space for free. Gaming. All right, cool. All right, so we got the space back. We want to hold it. What we want to do is we want to chain take space. Remember, we talked about this. We want to chain take space. We want to make sure that, yes, we just got the point, but can we go a little bit further? I don't remember who asked me, but it was someone in my comments. They were like, Poppin, do you usually like go all the way to spawn? Or like, do you, I don't like to go too deep, especially because I play by myself. I don't use comms or anything like that, so I don't want any throws. But I will go a little bit further. When you take point, you want to think about the next choke area. Now, this is already a choke. Don't get me wrong. This is already really hard to get through, but there's a lot more options, right? They can come around to the left, they can go to the right, they can come above, they can come right here. If we were to push forward, where would we go to allow us to be able to hold more points? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way. So where should we hold? We have 1, which is going to be right here. We have 2, which is going to be a little bit further, kind of like right here. Or we have 3, which will be a little bit further down where that wall is. You guys know, the little wall before you push out. Where do you guys think is the best place to hold to not only prevent, you know, your team from throwing, but just also to prevent them, to give them less access back to the point is basically what I'm trying to say. To give them less access back to the point. So you feel like it's 2. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what we get off of that. So if we do hold right here, right, and we're chilling, we're holding this spot, gaming. Theoretically speaking, they could go through the side over here. The sad part is like you're kind of requiring your team to play with you. Okay? And in a vacuum, you're actually correct. I wouldn't go 3 because 3 is throwable. All it takes is for someone to be kind of dumb and toss that out the window. But 2 is acceptable. But the thing is, you have to think about how your team is playing with you. When you play a game of Marvel Rivals, you're not just playing with characters. You're not just playing against characters. You're also playing with humans. Based off how your team has been playing with you, and only you will know because you were in the game, where do you think is the best spot based off how your team was playing with you? Because you did say it was 2, but now with that added thing in mind, do you feel like it's still 2? Or do you feel like it's 1 or 3? Because all 3 are solid answers, don't get me wrong. 3 is a little bit more throwable though, but they are solid answers. But it is about how your team plays. It's not just about what you want to do because you're only one person. Okay, let's look at how they kind of collapse with you.
Trouble has arrived.
You kind of see what I mean? So if you would have did 2, and that's how they're playing the game, you would have been picked. There is no right or wrong choice in Marvel Rivals. Or any strategy game, from my experience that I've already played. Not all of them, but just from the ones that I've played. There's no right or wrong answer. Every answer is situational. It was sort of a trick question for you guys because I want you guys to get into that habit to understand everything is situational. This is why I do not make character guides. Everybody asks me, Papa, make character guide. Papa, make. I don't believe in character guides because character guides present that philosophy that you do X, Y, Z and you win games. That is not how any game ever works, and that's why I don't do character guides. Now, not all of them are like that. I don't watch them, but I'm just gonna assume not all of them are like that. You guys would know if you guys watch them. But the ones that I've watched in the past, a long time ago, before this game was even a thing, usually character guides was like, the trick that you want to do is do this, and then you do this trick, and then you do that combo, and you will be 30 KOs deep, 30 kills deep. And it's like, that's not true. What happens if that character does that? What happens if that player does that? So this is why I don't do character guides. Instead, I would rather just give you guys the information and then you guys mold it to how you guys play your character. In this situation, yes, 2 would be great to hold, but your team isn't playing with you. So we have to think about a different way to hold the map. I would hold it here. This allows you to hear who's coming this way and you can hold it from here. You can still play, you can still enjoy the fight, but you're also getting multiple angles. someone face checking Doctor Strange that's not a tank is going to get exploded. So they can. Now, this is breakable. We do know this, but just for right now, this is what you would do. If they continue to press forward, you walk forward and continue to fight. And you just keep doing that. It's the safest one for your team, but by the way that they're playing. And on top of that, it's a really good position in general. It's preventing a lot of entrances from the map, right? It's preventing this one. They have to go this way, go all the way around, go all the way. That's a lot of work if you're not playing something like Spider-Man or something like that. And that just buys you more and more time. What you're trying to do is buy as much time as possible so you can end up winning your match. Are we good? Any questions on that? Now, something that I always tell you when you watch me, Lauren, you watch me. So you know probably what I'm about to say. What is the one thing that I say all the time when it comes to being grouped up? Every VOD review, every game that I do, every video that I make, I say the same exact thing. Why do we not want to be together? And it always happens. It's something that you have to actively think about as you're playing the game, or you'll just default back into just grouping. But what is the downside? There's two reasons why we do not want to group up. There's two reasons. You can all get shot. Yes. What's the other reason? What's the other reason? Can you talk about his team sliding themselves in a straight line? Wait, you mean when the map moved? Splash down. There's one more reason. There's one more reason. I say it all the time. All the time. It is part of taking space, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Angles. Boom. Ohio, you killed it. It's angles. Angles, angles, angles. If we are here, what happens? They have to look in this direction. They can't just look at your team. They have to do this. If Mag decides to do this, bro, you're popped by me. What's up, baby? If he decides to look at you, your team got him. You can even bait it. I do that all the time. I bait like crazy. Oh yeah, come get me, haha. And then I literally flip around, put my shield up. Bro, they're about to light that dude up. This is why we don't sit like that. You can get so much more accomplished by just making them have to turn their camera. That's all you have to think about. How can I get you to turn your camera? You are never in danger here because both of your healers can heal you from here. You're never in danger. You are fine. So this is why we, as much as possible, we try to make it so that they have to turn their cameras. The cool part about this too is you can see more. You can see that Venom is going that way. So you can kind of adjust. If Venom jumps on your team, you are running into that back line and lighting people up. You know, I'm not saying to do that, but I'm that kind of crazy. I would do that, but I'm not telling you to do that. You're still allowing them to just straight up hit everybody in a row. So remember, try not to group up, guys. Really think about, now there are times where you need to group up. I'm not saying never do it, but really think about, if we're gonna post up in a specific spot, can I take another angle that makes it so that I can hold that space, but I'm also making it so they have to look at me, right? You're doing the same job here you would be doing here. You're preventing them from crossing this line. You're holding the exact same space. You're just making it so they have to turn their camera, or they have to go this way. Should you hear them come in, you start messing with them, pop them, and you go back to what you're doing. They can't get through. They're done. This is over if you guys hold it properly. Okay, so your Mr. Fantastic ends up KO'd. Unfortunately, the bright side of it is just a DPS, which is fine. You don't really lose games because you lose out on a DPS. Okay, that was not okay though. So this is going to be something that we're going to talk about, and it's kind of Strange related. So, you know, if you guys don't play Strange, maybe tune out if you care. But if you're against them, it's probably beneficial for you anyway. But this is something based off shield management. When you're blocking with your shield, what are you trying to block? Like, what's the purpose of the shield? Like, realistically, just basic level, what is the purpose of a shield? Not even a trick question. blocks damage, protect, blocks dangerous damage, right? Like it makes it so that you can protect not only yourself, but should your shield expand like Doctor Strange's, you know, it makes it so that, you know, nobody takes damage behind you. What damage, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. Healers, this one's for you guys, okay? Supports, listen up. What damage can you guys heal? If you flex support, obviously feel free to answer. If you don't play support, you might not know. But realistically, ideally, what is the damage that you want to heal? Ideally, if you guys can scrap and fight, what is the ideal type of damage that you'd rather have your tanks take or your DPS take so that you can heal it up? Is it a ton of damage, a little bit of damage, tick damage, burst damage? Like what would you rather have? Yeah, you guys are literally all on the same page. So for the duration of this block, what are we blocking? What type of damage does that look like to you guys that we're trying to block? I mean, now it's a little bit overdone at this point, obviously. Yeah, it was just poke damage. It was just chip damage. That's all. So why are we blocking it? What in the game can provide you with the same amount of protection that Doctor Strange's shield can provide you? What do you guys think? So why are we intentionally walking out with our shield when they can't even see you if they are at the angle that they're at right now? Right? So why do you feel like Magneto is pushing into you? Do you think Magneto understands that you're down a player? Do you think his entire team understands that you're down a player? Let's take advantage. Or are you giving up space indirectly? What does your shield allow you to do? What are they taking out? What does it mean when you don't have a shield? What are they doing because you're putting your shield up? All this is space related. All of this is space related. What are they doing because you're not here? All of it is space related. Every single little bit and piece is space related. You're getting your shield taken out. I'm taking space. Because your shield gets low, you drop it or it breaks. You take damage. Because you take damage and you're not using cover, I'm pushing you back. Because we're pushing you forward, or because we're pushing forward, you're walking back. You're telling me I'm scared. Whenever you see me play, I never walk back. I low-key sometimes KO not walking back. I'm a troll. But you're giving so much space psychologically that they're able to take it even though they're not moving. This whole game is playing against another player. It's PvP. They only react to what you're giving them to react to. How do you react to a Black Widow that can land every single snipe shot? Whenever you pop out, bow, KO. Bow, KO. How do you react to that? Versus a Black Widow that misses every single shot. It's the same exact thing. How do you react to a Strange that knows how to play cover and use his shield properly versus how do you react to a Strange that doesn't? It's the same concept. It's the same understanding. You're indirectly saying, come take point. You're indirectly showing that you have weakness based off how you're playing the game. This is what you do not want to do, ever. Ever, ever, ever. And this is why you guys see me get so frustrated at tanks that give up space. I see this. Okay, you guys see them walking back. I see all of this. And I'm like, bro, stop. That's when I get frustrated, especially in high rank, because that should never happen. I'm not frustrated that they're moving back. I'm frustrated because they're burning resources that we could easily have conserved by using cover. when you are playing, you need to remember that cover is a way to allow you to continue to hold space. It is not your abilities. Your abilities are what you use to take space. Your abilities are what you use to protect space. You do not need to do anything right now because you have cover. Just pop out, boop, pop back in. Pop out, boop, pop back in. Should they get close, you walk out, Maelstrom, go right back in the cover. That's all. You're chilling. So, even right now, you could still be doing this. Who's gonna hurt you? There's only 2 characters. Only 2. Now it's more. But guess what? Imagine if you charged your Maelstrom. Imagine if you charged your Maelstrom as they were approaching. You were doing damage and not holding your shield. You're full HP right now. You have your shield. Bro, you're walking out, exploding all of them. They're literally huddled up. They're chilling. Boom. That will spook everybody. And Mag is gonna be like, what is this crazy guy? Like, what's this crazy guy doing? Why is he walking past me? He's gonna back up. You scared him. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You'll be able to take and hold space so effectively if you continue to play situations like that. Because now what you're doing is saying, healers, please be good healers. DPS, please be good DPS. Tank, off tank, please be good off tank, or whatever. You're asking your team to play out of their comfort zone because you just put them in a situation that's very hard to deal with. Now, of course, sometimes your teammates can handle that, but a lot of the frustration that comes from players is not necessarily their team sucking. It's because the tank puts them in a crappy situation that the team doesn't know how to handle. That's all. That's it. If you play healer, right, and your whole entire team gets chunked, all of them, and you don't have ultimate, my healer sucks, GG. Is it though? Is it though? Because all 5 of y'all just got booty blasted, all right? What am I supposed to do right now? But it makes it seem like the healer sucks, and that's not the case. So you really gotta, you really gotta like think about that type of situation. Everything that you do, no matter what role you are, everything that you do has ramifications for your entire team. And the harder you make it for them, the more that you're expecting from them. The more you expect from them, the more you're gonna be disappointed. This is why I usually tell myself to slow myself down, especially playing in lower ranks, because they don't move that quickly. I see what you were trying to do there, but you didn't have any, you were just kind of you were trying to force. You didn't have any teammates there to help you. Sometimes you just gotta relax. It's okay. I know you just got point taken, but you know, understand when you have to retreat. It's a wrap. You guys will see me do that all the time when I play, is I'll just like leave because the fight's over.
Wait, isn't he the guy who was supposed to solve all this?
Like, in what world, after we lost Mr. Fantastic, do we even contest this? Your team already ended up KO'd. We'd have to give it and retake. You have ultimate, so you have a great way to retake. So you'd have to just wait. There's nothing you can do. Just because you're standing there doesn't mean you have that space created. There's nobody to help you. They see behind you. They know you're alone. And obviously, you know, in your game, you don't see this. I understand. But just remember that if you start seeing people get taken out and you're safe enough to just leave, because I believe that you were before this even took place. Look at, you're safe enough to just not go. Don't go. You just lost your damage dealer, and your other damage dealer is way over there, and your other tank is way over there. What are you gonna accomplish? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And this is not even like a BM thing, because this happens in high rank too. We get so caught up with like not letting them get point. We get so caught up and really trying to hold whatever. But a lot of the times, if you just let it go for a couple of seconds, you will save yourself way more time than you would have saved by trying to go do some crazy stuff. So I think we got a lot out of that. I think we got a lot out of that replay. That was good. That was good. Anybody got any questions on that? Anyone have any understanding that they might be lacking in? What's up? Let me know. Anything that you guys disagree in? What is it? What's up, Heavenly Press? Hello, hello. Love the content, showing love for the culture. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. When would you say is a lost fight? Usually when someone important gets picked off. Most of the time it's your healers. That's gonna be something you're gonna need to learn with experience. I'm not gonna front, but like most of the time it's your healers. So if we can just look at a team comp just real quick. If you look at the team comp here, who on the team getting picked off would probably stop our push? And it changes from game to game. But like if one player were to get smacked out right now, like would one player being KO'd prevent us from pushing? It's comp to comp basis. Comp to comp basis. So is there one character that would get taken out that would stop the push? And on top of that, which character would it be? Really look at the comp, guys. I want you guys to get this. Really look at the comp. What provides a successful push? What do you need in a successful push? Now, because their comp is weird, I understand why these answers are coming out like this. But this is something that you'll learn from experience. Again, you guys will see when I play. I know when it's lost and I know when I can keep fighting. There's one person in this comp that if they are taken out, you can't play the game anymore. It's Moon Knight. Why? Because we have 3 healers already. We don't need 3. 2 is fine. 1 sometimes is fine depending on who it is, but 2 is definitely fine. If we lose Thor or Thing, it doesn't really matter. We still have 1 extra tank to play the game. We still have 1 extra tank to be that frontliner. We still have that solo tank. But if we lose Moon Knight, we have no damage. So in that scenario, we can't play the game anymore. If that guy gets picked off, backing up would prevent stagger right there. This is what I do in even high rank game. Well, high rank games people understand a little bit more often when you play tank or any other role. They know when someone's picked, we got to chill out. But I do notice in low ranks, generally people will follow the tank. And so if the tank doesn't identify that we can't win the fight anymore, they'll keep going. And then everybody just gets KO'd. And they don't really understand why. So if you can learn how to do this as a tank, you will definitely prevent a lot of KOs on your team. Let's do it one more time, just so we can get the concept understood. Red side. If we had to take out 1 character from this team, who would it be? And how would that, and will that prevent our push? Really inspect this comp, guys. I really want you guys to get it. 1 character on their team KO'd. What would stop their push, or what would make their defending harder since they, if they were defending? Really look at that comp, guys. You guys can get it. Look at the comp. Think about what abilities that they have, not ults, abilities that they have. Which one character would make it harder for them to push? I love you guys for participating. Huge pat on the back for you guys participating. It's awesome. I'm glad you guys are participating, and I'm glad you guys are learning. Also, if you guys are liking the content, please hit that like button. It's beneficial for me. It takes a few seconds. Hit that like button. And if you want to help support the content and the channel that I create, please consider joining and becoming a member. I just forgot to say that in the beginning of the whole thing. That's the best way to do it. But as I said before, I appreciate you guys participating. But yeah, none of you guys are correct. There's one character. What happens if you KO anybody on their team? There's one character that makes it so that KO is irrelevant. That means that we should focus that character. Which character is that now? Rocket. Rocket. There you go. This is what we call target priority. Now, we don't focus Rocket, but should Rocket do something incredibly dumb where we can pick that guy off compared to anybody else on their team, we take out that Rocket. It takes Rocket out the fight. It takes his beacon out the fight. Now it's a better fight for us. This is what we do when we focus on specific characters to take out of a fight. It is not the same character every single game. It is not the same character every single second. It is not the same character every single team comp. It will be different based off positioning, angling, abilities used up. Because what happens if Rocket already used the beacon and we noticed it? It's not Rocket anymore now, is it? It always changes. But I just wanted to kind of get your guys' brains churning with that information. It doesn't matter if you're a tank, doesn't matter if you're a DPS, doesn't matter if you're a healer. If you can identify which target to take out first, especially if they're out of position already, you will win a lot more fights than you think, because it only takes one. So, all right, here we go. Let's get into it. So when it comes to defending, is this the first non-domination game? No, we looked at Limitards too. Defending with Thor is a patience game. I had a whole Thor main stint. Looking to go for the back line. The problem here is, what do we accomplish? And this is something that I had this problem too for the longest time. When we go after someone like this, are we generating any space? What are we really doing? I went after Rocket. Rocket then runs into his team. What are we doing? Like, is there anything we gain from here? We don't gain anything, right? We don't move them away from the team. We don't take any space. We're not really doing anything, right? Now, all it takes, especially in high ranks, is for them to just turn around and take you out, because nobody's there to help, right? And now, I do understand what you're trying to say when you're trying to like pincer them, you're trying to push it so that they can't really escape, but nobody's afraid of you. You're only one character. What we think and what actually happens in game, two totally different outcomes. One of the main reasons is because you go unpunished a lot of the times until you get to high rank. So what works in your rank might seem like a good idea on a fundamental level, but as you get to high ranks, that never works. And that's my goal of this channel and the content that I create. I don't want you to run into these hurdles. This is why I play all these accounts. This is why I have a tank account, a support account, a DPS account. This is why I rank those up separately from my main account, because I want to run into the same exact frustrations that you guys run into before you guys run into them, so I can already tell you what to do when you get into them. All this creates is just a distraction. But for what? Is there anybody on our team that can take advantage of a distraction from Thor? Like theoretically, look at our team. Thor is back there. Is there anyone that can just say, boom, what's up? Because they're looking at Thor right now. Or is it more of a gradual type of team comp where we gradually approach the situation? if we were to win this fight, who's going to win this fight for us? It's going to be the Moon Knight, right? Moon Knight's damage is not really a burst damage type of situation. It can be, but like realistically, it's not going to be a one-shot situation, especially from a far distance. Nobody else on your team does anything. You don't have a Black Panther, you don't have a Spider-Man, you don't have a Magic, you don't have anything. So why are we playing like this? And this is going to be something that you're going to learn as you climb. Dive tanks do not mean, like the classification of a dive tank doesn't mean dive. It's weird. It's weird. Excuse me. I don't know why I have to burp so much. What is going on with me? That's not what it means, right? Just because you're playing a dive tank doesn't mean you dive. Just because you're playing a dive tank doesn't mean you backline. Just because you're playing a dive tank doesn't mean you neglect your team. It means you have the opportunity to take advantage of someone being stupid. That's all that it is. The higher you get, the less you can dive. I'll guarantee you. You will notice if you watch really high ranked players, dive players can't just be in all the time. There's no way. You'll get KO'd. They would turn around and KO you right then and there on the spot. You'd be done. The best way to go about this is to play with the comp that you have. You know that your team is very good at being in, your team comp sucks, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I probably just uninstall the game right here. But given the situation that we have, our team is more of an artillery type team. Our team is more of a team that doesn't really want to move, and they just want to, they want you to hold the fight in one area so they can just spam. Basically, that's pretty much what we're looking for. We're looking for that spam location. Where you are right now, does this allow for your team to spam? That location right there. Does this allow your team to spam? Does you being here force these guys here and allows them to spam? I don't like any of these characters on the team. They do not play well together. They just annoy me. Jeff annoys me. Luna annoys me. Moon Knight annoys me. Your team is rough. Your team is in a rough spot. These are not the best choices. They don't mesh. Basically, what you're trying to do is push them into it so that they're forced there, right? But the problem is they're doing that whether you're there or not. The only thing that you're doing is telling your team, hey, guess what? We're down a player. So if we think about this play that you just did, is this a beneficial play for the type of team that you have and the type of strategy that they're trying to accomplish? If they're going to do what your team likes anyway, why do we have to do anything for it? They're already doing it. You chilling. I would have liked to see you sit with your team and just start thunderbolting people that comes through. Because you have to get close to the store. You realistically have to get close most of the time. But with the team that you have, you can't. So you have to do what you can. The best thing to do, when they walk up, smack them a few times, break this so you can go through. And when you see someone get a little bit too close, maybe go up here and then sit up here. Throw a little bit. What's up? What's up? You ain't ready? Go down there maybe. Hug that wall. Fly back up. What's up? What's up? You're not playing the traditional, I'm all in Thor. You can't. That's not the type of team you have, and it's just not going to work. If you really want to play Thor in situations that are unconventional, you're going to have to play in an unconventional way. And the best way to do that is to take it slow and steady. As they push through, your team is allowing... as they push through, your team is doing what they want to do. But somebody is going to be out of position eventually. So let's play this out. We're doing what I said to do. We're chilling. We're going back and forth. They're in the same exact spot you just pushed them in before you even did what you did. The only difference is no one really sees that you're doing it, except no more, I guess, right now. Also, he went on the hardest target. You can't really KO someone if they have their abilities up. So what you're looking for is for them to waste them, and then you go in. But as you do what you do, it's very hard for you to KO them, as I said before. And you're essentially giving up the space you just took, but you didn't really create any space anyway. So you kind of were irrelevant that entire situation. This is one of those things where like we would just ignore you and we would focus their team because you're not accomplishing anything. You don't do enough damage to KO anybody through the heals that we have. You're not really with your team right now. You're not really doing much, and you would go ignored. Now, luckily it works out for you, but realistically, you didn't do anything special. You could have done the exact same thing from here. Whenever they made a mistake, just hop down and do what you were doing just then. It allows them to be a little bit more cautious because now they know it's a 6v6. And if you happen to light someone up with your lightning, you know that chunks. You would be able to KO them. You probably KO them without having to move by just playing a little bit more into the style that they want to play. If he decides to go in the backline like he's doing right now, then you go in their backline and you basically counter dive. This is what we call counter diving. So you're creating space for your team to only take care of this one threat right here, right? As you go in this way, their team backs up, your team backs up to deal with the Hulk, and now it's basically who can survive the longest. Well, who do you think can survive the longest? Thor or Hulk? If Thor hops in a team of 4 or 5, and Hulk hops in a team of 4 or 5, who's probably gonna last longer? Given the fact that you have an area up here, an area up here, a little bit over there, destructible, I know, versus this guy just hopping straight into the middle of like Narnia. So you're doing a better job tanking than that Hulk is doing. And all you're doing is playing smarter. You're not doing anything mechanical, anything crazy. You're just timing things. This is what it means to be a dive tank. Understanding your timing, understanding when you can take that space, hold that space, and then you have to leave, because you cannot traditionally hold space with a dive tank that you would with a shield tank or with like a strategic tank like Groot or Penny. You can't. It's unrealistic. But you can manipulate the situation so that you have that space for the moment, and then you leave, and you keep doing that over and over and over. A dive tank is not meant to get KOs. It's only meant to secure it if they're low. Otherwise, you're holding. That's how you hold space. That's the only way you can do it. That's how they're designed. You could call Thor a brawler tank, but I just classify him as a dive. And then once the fight's over, you dip back and rinse and repeat. This is how I'm able to hold. When I first climbed and I was a cap spammer, whenever I played, this is when people thought cap was horrible. It's before any of its changes. They're like, Poppin', why are you picking cap? You're trolling. They didn't know who I was, but they just called me Poppin' because that was my street name. You're trolling. Cap can't solo tank. Play another. But I can. I know what I'm doing. And so I would solo tank mini games. I would hold angles mini games, but I understand the flow of that dive tank hold space. You can't hold it forever, but if you hold it for that crucial moment, that's enough. Holding it because the Hulk jumps back there, that's a crucial moment for you to hold it. That's enough to stall this entire push. What's happening? The thing is pretty much doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I only say you because you can't rely on your team to do anything like that. Let's just say the thing is with you. Well, now we're just giving up space and the Hulk is creating the space, right? So sometimes you're going to get that off tank that doesn't understand, and you need to be the one to understand. I need to stay over here while they are dealing with that guy over there. They're down magic, so it's even better for you. What did we also explain? Rocket being alive means that even if you KO someone, they're still effective on the map. So instead of going for Rocket how you did in the first place and chasing and whatnot, you would go for Rocket when the Hulk jumped into your team. Maybe you get him, maybe you don't, but you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That's the name of the game. You see how this kind of unfolded? In such a strange way, it worked. But what do you improve on here? Like realistically, watching this back, or maybe anyone who could pick up anything, what do you think I can replicate from the situation and take to the next game? What did I do that I could actually build on top of? Was this me making something happen, or was this me reacting to something that's happening? How do I tell when to counter dive and when to peel? Good question. You really have to identify the threat level. Hulk is not really that scary jumping into a team of 4 or 5, so like he's not doing anything. But if it were like the Hulk and a few other people, then you would have to turn around and do something, especially if the thing is already out there. But if the thing was behind you, you could still kind of play that game and let them deal with it. It's kind of like a numbers game. Some characters are a little bit more threatening, so if it was a Magic in the back line, even though you have a 3v1, Magic can pull that off. But if it were like Spider-Man in a 3v1, he's annoying, but he can kind of be dealt with. So it's just gauging. Reaction, exactly. It was a reaction play. So how do you improve? How do we improve when we don't do anything? This is going to lead you to one of those scenarios where you climb rank, and I'm not saying you, Dreamer, I'm just like saying in general. This would lead you to a scenario where you climb ranks, and as you climb, people get harder. That's literally the point of a ladder. And you start losing all your games. And you're like, bro, what the heck? This system's rigged. My teams suck. I can't win. Well, you won games, whether or not it was because you played well or you got lucky. You got to a rank that's a little bit higher, that requires a little bit more skill, and you can't handle it. So then you go right back down. And you keep doing that. And over and over and over. Just because you win, just because you climb, just because you gain points, does not mean you deserve to do it. It's just the nature of the game. But win or lose, if you improve over and over and over, and you're actively taking these steps to make some crazy stuff happen, in every single game, you know I'm active. I'm gonna do something crazy. It's kind of troll most of the time, but I'm gonna try something because I want to see what happens. If you do this over and over, and you do it in your own comfort level zone, you know, don't go crazy as I do, because I literally throw games sometimes. Don't do that. But have that comfort zone for you where you can do it over and over, even if it's just once per game, whatever. But that's enough for you to play with. That's enough for you to mold. And you're growing as a player. You're growing, you're growing, you're growing. And as you grow, you will start to be able to climb. And when that win streak happens, when you get lucky, whatever, or maybe you just win because you're better, when you get to that rank that requires more skill, you already have it. Now you're able to hang there. You might not climb further for that moment, but you're not losing anymore. You're consistently in that rank. If you want to be that type of player, you are definitely going to have to be more proactive with what you're doing and understanding the outcomes, right? If we went for your play and it didn't really do anything, we need to remember it didn't do anything and figure out why. Now, I'm not saying deep dive into your own replays and stuff like that, because that's kind of troll, but just take note of it. Rocket got away from me. Okay, maybe I shouldn't go on Rocket anymore. That dude was super hard to get. You know, whatever. Here's a prime example. We're doing the same thing over again. Let's see if the outcome is different. Nope, we didn't really accomplish much. Now we're looking for the Hulk. And right now, is this a bad thing to do? No, you're not giving up any space. You're not, like, there's nothing for you to do right now. You don't have to hold anything. So you can go ahead and just kind of go nuts. It's fine. You're going in, popping damage. We know Cloak and Dagger just ulted. So Cloak and Dagger did what with this ult? She created a whole bunch of space for her team to play with. Now at this point, it's up to you to figure out what to do about it. You just lost Luna. What we would do right now is we would press tab. So we would open it up and see who has ultimate. Jeff has ult soon. Cloak and Dagger has ult soon. Can we hold this long enough for their ultimates to come up? I mean, Moon Knight has ult, but you know, it might not KO anybody in this situation. Before this plays out, whoa. Before this plays out, I'm gonna play it back normal speed. What do you guys think? Can we hold this space that Cloak and Dagger just made for her team? Or do we have to kind of respect it a little bit more and just kind of back up, wait, and come back before we play it out from here? Is it more of a we run away? Is it more of we kind of just shimmy, move around and juke? Or is it more of like we stand our ground, we stand right in it, and we start punching stuff because we can kind of get healed through it? Where are we at? No, maybe respect it, duck to the garage, we can hold. Okay. Okay. Well, what did we notice? Well, Magic just got KO'd. And we know that our Luna just got KO'd. We know Cloak and Dagger just ulted. We know that our ults are coming soon. We have to ask ourselves, can we survive long enough for those ults to come? It's not that far off. It's doable. It's coming. It's not that far. But what did I say before? We're relying on our team. I have hair in my mouth. What the heck? We're relying on our team. It wasn't really hair, but anyway, we're relying on our team to perform better. If we continue to hold in the smoke, we're saying my supports know exactly what to do, and they're about to ult like that. We need to make sure we have ourselves an out. So it's kind of both. It's kind of both. You respect it while also holding your ground. And if it does start to go south, you need to weigh out. You should not KO. You should just be kind of low because their ults are coming up. We know that we don't lose point. So let's see what happens. What was the mistake? What was the mistake? Was the mistake holding and not respecting the ult? Was the mistake fighting? Was the mistake like what went wrong here? Well, we can't see that they have ult, so it's kind of unfair. Right. We overstayed. We should have respected it a bit more. How does Thor's kit work? He gets an overshield every time he uses an ability. So we should be trying to use our ability and play around the smoke. Maybe stand here, but still respect. Go back in, maybe go up a little bit, be up here. Like we want to basically be healthy by the end of this duration. That's the point. As we play this out, we know Jeff gets KO'd. So not only did Jeff get KO'd, but our Luna got KO'd. Given the situation right now in this second, is this fight winnable? Right at this particular second, do I do anything or do I just dip out, maybe come up here and gauge the situation once more to see what's up? Because remember, we know Cloak and Dagger has ult soon, but can we guarantee she will stay alive and kicking before everybody else gets KO'd here? You didn't notice? That's okay. Sometimes that does happen. So if we dipped out, we wouldn't have KO'd. Look at our team. Cloak and Dagger, Moon Knight, the Thing. They're all up here. If we just dipped out for a second, let the counter come up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Re-engage on Cloak and Dagger's ult. That is a fight that we win. So at the start of this whole entire situation, we had some answers that said hold. We had some answers that said kind of duck and dive. We had some answers that said respect. But did any of you guys think that you win this fight? Be honest, obviously. Most likely, you wouldn't have thought that you won that fight. Bro, Luna KO, Cloak and Dagger just ulted. That's at that moment, we don't win this fight. We just kind of back up and reassess the situation. But it's still unsure if we win. In my mind, I knew we won that fight. I'm definitely not trying to sound superior or anything to you guys. I don't like to do that. But in all honesty, I know that we won this fight. because I know how long I can survive. I know my Cloak and Dagger has ultimate, or she's about to get it. As long as she stays alive, we will win this fight. And obviously, as long as I stay alive, we win this fight. But we have to stall for that ult. That's our win condition for this particular fight. So I knew that we win this fight before the fight even like concluded. But unfortunately, we got KO'd. That's all you had to do. All you had to do was go up here for a few seconds and we win the fight. We didn't even lose the fight. We didn't even lose the fight. And we just stalled the fight. And then she ults and we win from here. The cool part about this game, the cool part about really any game that's team oriented, I already said there's no right or wrongs, but there's high chances and low chances. I already knew we would win this fight because we had more resources than they did. The cool part about this is that even though you KO'd, the game still played out the same. This right here is how you improve as a player. Yes, I shouldn't have got KO'd. Oh, you know, it sucks. But the fact that we won this fight means that we already knew that we should have won this fight. Or we already known we should have won this fight. So what I'm saying is, when you play this game, really do your best to think from second to second basis. If you can do that, you will start to identify a lot more opportunities, and you will also start to identify when you can't really do something anymore. When you play like that, you're gonna start noticing. You're gonna start noticing a lot. You're gonna start noticing a lot. I'm trying to tell you, because the fact that your team doesn't even need to be good, right there, right? Like, bro, anybody in their grandma could have done what she just did. What did that Cloak and Dagger just do? Did she do animation cancels? Did she do any crazy ducking and dodging? She flew up, ulted, fight one. Anybody with the brain can do that. We understood that she would do that because she had ult almost. We knew that that was the goal from the fight. As soon as that other Cloak and Dagger ulted, we knew that that was the goal. So this means that I know that you should be ulting when you get it. I know that you know. My job lasts long enough for you to do it. If I can do that, we win this fight. If you get KO'd, we lose this fight. That right there is your answer to what you were asking. How do you know when you lose the fight? When your win condition is gone. Didn't we establish that Moon Knight is the win condition for fighting? We did. But for surviving in this particular time frame, that win condition was your Cloak and Dagger almost having ult. Now, if she didn't have ult, we probably would have just backed off that fight entirely and just, you know, figured out what to do then. This is why it's important, and that's why I wanted your brains churning earlier, because I wanted you guys to get into that habit of identifying, like, what's the win condition, what's the threat, because this changes. It changes so much, it's crazy. So we come back in, fight's already won. He comes in at the wrong time again. The dude is not learning. The thing goes in. We already have the numbers advantage. We can just kind of go crazy. He ults. Same concept. Same concept. As soon as we start hearing this dude laugh. What is our goal? We established what it was here. Let's see if anyone's listening with intent. What was our goal for that Cloak and Dagger ultimate? It's the same goal here. What is it? Is our goal to KO? Is our goal to destroy the thing? What is our goal here? Hold space? Kind of. We have to respect that ultimate. It's not really one we can just kind of like just ignore. You know what I mean? But we know that they lost the Hulk. So this is a fight that it's in our favor. Doesn't mean we win, but it is in our favor. Survive long enough for the Luna counter. True, you can survive long enough for the Luna counter. But the cool part about this ult is it doesn't actually damage anybody. So realistically, you just gotta survive the ult. How does Rocket's ult work? Is it based off of location? Does it go on the ground like Cloak and Dagger? Or does it tether to the players that are near it? You guys obviously know that one. So the location that he put it down, how far does it stretch? They're down a player. You backing up psychologically tells them, we win this fight, bro. What's up? No, you don't. You're trolling. You're about to get freaking Donkey Konged on. And they're going to do one of two things. Respect that the Hulk is not there, or they're going to go in and fight that 6v5 and lose. And then the Hulk spawns by himself and we just staggered them. What we're about to do is probably running down. Maybe you survive, who knows? But we are playing way too hard. There's no reason. We should not be playing so hard. Play smarter, not harder. You don't need to react. You don't need to have uptime. Just play to what's given to you.
This is real.
You're in there alone now. When the thing literally did what I just said. Go to the spot where the ultimate's over. We don't lose. We just give them that space because if they try to fight, they're down the hole. But you being in does what? You being in psychologically tells your entire team, Thor's in there, let's fight. You just got your entire team out of position. What happens if Luna was too slow? Right now, if Luna was too slow, Emma prevented her from ulting. Iron Man is laser beaming with rocket ult. You lost this fight because of you. Because of you. Luckily, your team has been like on the ball with understanding they can't do something. But if you go in, your whole entire team KOs, it might seem like it was your team, depending on the situation and how it played out. But realistically, you're the one who told them to do it. Because you felt like you had to be active. Unfortunately, the thing ends up getting low, ends up being KO'd. Cloak and Dagger got KO'd. KO'd. Everybody's KO'd. Why are we KO'd? Because my Thor decided to do something for no reason at all. And that's not a stab at you. That's not to say you suck. That's not to say that you do anything. But I'm saying it like this because that's sometimes all that it is. You're making one mistake that is literally cascading into a loss. This is why when I play, I usually tell myself to chill out because I'm just ramification out the butt of dumb decisions. I will do something and be like, okay, that was bad. I'll do something again. Okay, that was bad. And I'm like, okay, let me just reset. Let me just reset. Because I know that's what happens in this game. If you keep doing the same things over and over, it will lead to this type of situation. Like, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm kind of disappointed. Not because I feel like you sucked or you lost your team in the game or anything. I don't know how this game plays out. But just in general, disappointed because you had that point. It was yours. You took out the Hulk. It was yours. And just to see it just all crumble. It's just kind of disappointing because it's kind of like, man, you're doing so good. You're doing so good. And then it's just that final moment where we decided to go deep instead of relax. And then your whole entire team trusted you. They trusted you and they got KO'd because of your decision for trusting you. And you know, you do need your team to trust you to win games, obviously. You can't just have them not trust you. But you built up so much trust for your team. They've been doing so good with you. And then that one decision just KO'd everybody. You know? But that's the type of thing that you need to learn from and then not replicate. But we already understood that you were doing that before that point. You did it about 2 more times. You did it when you first went up to do pincer. You also did it when we were here in the smoke, and you didn't learn. And then the 3rd time we did it, we got KO'd, and our team lost that point. Slow down. Slow down. When it doesn't go well, really identify why. And from that point on, you just learn from it. I'm telling you right now, you'd be stomping. You'd be freaking stomping, dude. Seriously. You'd be stomping, dude. Anyway, I'm bad. I'm like, my brain just like turned off because I was. My brain turned off for a second because I was thinking of something else and I was doing something. Anyway, any questions about that? Anyone feel like maybe I'm incorrect about something? As I said before, you know, it's not about being right or anything like that, but you know, is there something you may not understand? Is there something you feel isn't really clicking? Is there any other decisions that you probably would have made that you probably felt was better? Like, what's on your mind? Or are you guys chilling? You guys are all right. I'm gonna just get this other game loaded up real quick and I'll re-chat. Also, what's up, Nia? I didn't even say what's up to you. Ram, I didn't say what's up to you. I'm sorry. When I'm in this zone, I see you and then I just like, I forget. But I'm glad you guys are here. As well as anyone else that I might not have mentioned. Any lurkers, I'm glad you guys are here. Remember to leave a like if you guys are enjoying it and learning a lot. I know it's unrelated. It was unrelated, but a guide on what hero you should play versus certain comps or different counter picks. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that at some point. I have a guide on when to swap, but I don't know if that would tickle your fancy. I don't know if that's specifically what you're asking for, but I don't usually, when I play the game, I don't usually pick for counters of a character. I usually pick for a specific situation. If you pick for a counter of a character, the player could still just be better than you, and you probably would still end up losing the game anyway. But if you pick for the situation, it goes a little bit better. Here's the link to that. I kind of feel like I'm hearing both. You need to play kind of crazy, and then also you need to stop playing so crazy. And I'm struggling to figure out where the in-between is. The easiest way to learn that, because again, it is hard. Like I said, I played a lot of Cap, I played a lot of Hulk. These are the characters, Thor as well. These are the characters that are generally... Dive tanks are hard, all right? They're hard, they're not easy. I think the lesson on this match is to see what the team comp is like before the match starts, to know how to utilize crazy. Pretty much. That's a very simple way to put it. Understanding what characters can support you when you're going in is going to help you tremendously. You also have to identify when you should go in, right? If your whole team can't back you up at that point, you're probably not going to win the fight by yourself because you're in by yourself. So you play back. Most characters that are dive characters have tools to kind of stall or fight long range. Thor's tool is the lightning. He also can kind of like swing around. It is limited though. Cap's tool is just running around and jumping, being hard to hit, being annoying. Like that's another way he can stall it out without actually having to fight a long range team. Venom has a way to do it as well. Like all these characters do have ways to either like poke from long range or at least be a nuisance. And when it comes to playing Thor, if you do not have anyone to back you up, then you most likely aren't going to want to go for the dive. What you're looking for when you're fighting is to keep them in a location that your team can utilize. The problem with that match is that they were going to that location anyway, so you didn't have to do anything. You're just causing more problems than you are solutions. Does that make sense? So let me see here. Let me do it this way. Hello? Why can I move the... There we go. Okay. Duh. All right. Let me put it this way. So let's just say our Moon Knight is chilling up here. Right? He's up there. He's chilling. Okay. And they're getting ready to push point. You had to retreat, whatever, and they're getting ready to push point. What you did in that game was go out here and start fighting. The problem with this is that your team doesn't want them there. Your team wants them here because Moon Knight is up there, right? It's not just about your healers, but it's also just about how your DPS plans to do damage. If they're dive characters, you fighting here is fine. But based off that gameplay, it's easy to identify that you're not really sure how to play with each. You do the same gameplay mechanic every single game, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You'll have to alter what you're doing and why based off what the situation calls for. We have a Wolverine on our team, right? So you could play this two ways in this particular match. The Wolverine would go in, snatch somebody, and bring them back. You could either fight this guy, or you could go out here and try to do something while they take out the person Wolverine just got taken out. Once that tank or whatever gets KO'd, you come right back and you do the same thing. You're not always in. But then what happens if you're playing with Black Panther or Spider-Man? Well, you can fight and you can stay in a lot longer. Your goal is to basically fight until they can pick people off. You see how each situation just has a different way to do it? Once you pick that up, once you learn that, you'll start to become a very, very good dive tank player. And that's not really something I can teach. That's like an experience thing, man. It's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult, especially because just because they play something like Spider-Man or Black Panther doesn't mean they actually play it well, and you might not be able to do what you want to do. It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not even gonna lie to you and say that it's easy. It's definitely a difficult thing to master, and I don't even feel like you can master that. But the best way to think about it is just, you know, who am I? What do I have on my team? What is my objective? It's not always to create space if there's no reason to create it. It's not always to dive the backline and distract if there's no reason to distract. You need to have a reason for what you're doing. So I would just start off with that. Why am I going to go here? What is that going to accomplish for my team? If you can answer that, if you can answer why and then what it's going to accomplish, 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be a good play. Whether or not it works, it's still a good play because you thought about it. Moving into this one. I hope that answers it, by the way. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. I'm not, like I said, I can't lie to you. So moving on to this one, we're going to be playing with a penny here, which means that the space being held is through penny, right? There's a few ways for us to get to the map. It's going to be this way, or this way. The best place for us to hold should not be where Penny is, because Penny's already holding this space. She shouldn't really be this far out, but she's already holding whatever happens here. This means we want to try to force ourselves to hold the space from this angle. Yeah, we're susceptible to being hit from this way, so we have to be a little bit more careful, but even if they do come from this way, you just boom, like that, right? Boom, boom. Should you have to back up, you're not going to back up normally this way. You're going to have to back up this way. So you don't take a lot of damage, but you're still getting yourself to safety. So retreating is also something you need to think about when you're using cover as well. It's not just standing there. But let's play this out. Thank you, Coach. I was feeling kind of rough after the review, but I'm feeling more like I have a goal for improving now. Yeah, it's definitely that. It's not going to come with just one game. Dive tanks are hard. So because we just gave up that space, they're able to capitalize on it. Now, what does this open up? Right? What do we already establish? We already established pathway here, pathway here, pathway here. Us not being here opened up this pathway for their team. I don't generally hold this far out anyway, personally, but if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. But we should do it more strategically. I also don't like holding anything frontlining with Penny because that's not how she works. So I just, this whole thing is kind of rough, but we allowed them to just do that to Penny because we don't hold space over here. The crazy part is too, if we were holding that space, we'd be able to pick people off like this person. That should be an instant shot. I'm glad you're looking at it now. But you see how much they got to play because we left this area. I don't even know why we left that area. Weren't we over there for a second? Let me see, because I was reading chat, I think, at that time. Oh no, we just weren't holding that area in general. Yeah, so that right there would have just been a free KO for you should you have been standing there. You just pop her over the wall or over the, whatever that is. I know, I don't know why the word's slipping from me, but you pop her over that and it KOs. That's it. They're gonna have to back up and you still manage this space here. Remember, this is pretty much similar to the first clip that we watched with the first player. It's not just giving up space for the sake of giving up space, but it's also giving up space for, it's also giving up space, allowing them to play the game more. It's not just like, oh, you're not there, I can occupy it. It's like you're allowing them to chain space. They're getting the space from this angle, then they're able to go in here, going in here, which then forces you guys back, which then makes it so you guys have to retreat even more, which forces you guys back even further, and you're basically allowing them to progress to the point little by little by little by little. Now with Magneto, you don't want to be too close, but you know, sometimes you can't help it. Now, when we were watching the Doctor Strange video, what did we say? We said the type of healing that we would like healers to do, like if we were a healer, the type of healing that we'd want to heal is what? It's that chip damage, it's that poke damage. Looking at this clip, what type of damage is the Magneto taking at this point? Not here, but here. What type of damage was that? What's the methodology? I can't even say the methodology. My brain is mush right now. So breaking the chain space taking. Basically, you can't break it. Once it started, it's a domino effect. What you want to do is you just want to get to the next spot that they're probably going to take from there and then hold that spot. From there, you'll be good. So let's just say she take the Psylocke takes this space here, right? Well, you can't really hold this space anymore if your team gets ran. So what you would want to do is you want to go back. We know she's going to come this way, so we would hold it here. And just pray that they don't send 4 or 5 people in here to deal with you. So it's basically trying to be one step ahead of them and then stopping them. That's all it is. Yeah, it was ship damage. It was ship damage. So with that in mind, should we be backing up here how we did? Because we were getting it healed, right? Right here. You see how we're backing up? Why? Now you could be like, Poppin', I mean, dude, that's like 2 inches of space, bro. Like, why does it matter? It matters because what does the enemy see? Let's go to, be right back for a second, sorry. What does the enemy see here? The enemy sees that there's no team behind them. Which means I have a few seconds while Iron Fist is doing whatever Iron Fist is doing to take out these 2 players in front of us. That's what this means. However, if the Magneto would have still walked out while fighting like this, they're in position to assist already. But at this point, we are forced to walk from where we are now after that altercation all the way up to here. And by that point, they could already be KO'd and we're down 2 players. Your healers also have to make their way to try to assist as well. The space taken already is taken. That dude's just intruding in on it. But there's no space that's theirs. This is all yours because their Penny is holding it. Right? So in this scenario, us moving through our already maintained space doesn't do anything. We're not holding anything because they're not pushing anything. This is just stalling you out. And at this point, this is why you're able to walk past them, because you'll be able to deal with them. He's not going to KO you through 2 healers. You see how much further we had to walk? You see how much of an advantage they were able to take onto your Penny there? And now we're trying to do something. But by this point, they're already collapsed. It's already a little bit too late. And now we're trying to hold space that we don't have anymore. We should have already been prioritizing holding that space before they took it from us. Now we need to back up. We already know that Iron Fist, we're not leaving Iron Fist. We're just turning around and hitting him at the same time. Because where is Iron Fist going to go once he gets low? He's not going to go deeper into our base. He's going to run away. He's going to go this way. He's going to go that way, or he's just going to run back this way, right? So as we walk back and we're doing damage, we're still going to be able to either KO him or force him to leave. That's all. Luckily, we were able to be healed up there. But we this is like one of those complicated ones. This is one of those complicated ones because this one doesn't really pop up that often. It's a very, very, very complicated one here. Realistically speaking, this is not something you run into on a day-by-day basis. This is very special of an occasion. But when you're split up like this, the space that you're holding as a tank is the one that's furthest away from the back, basically. So it would be this space. Being as far away as we were, what was it? Did I go back too far? I think I did. Okay, there we go. So we're dealing with them, which is fine. But we have to know that when we decide to do stuff like this, when we decide to give up resources to go further back into our line, we're essentially taking resources from the front, right? And this means you have a time limit before you need to return back to your position before they just start crumbling and taking everything from you. That's pretty much what we've seen here. We have a timer until we get back to Penny. The best way to go about this is to just walk backwards and do damage to them, so that way we're already making our way towards this section. Once we get to this section, we already are in line sight to deal with Cap, and as we see Moon Knight throwing his unk, we should be able to kind of turn around, maybe deal with him, maybe deal with people in front as we return back. Again, it's a very wonky thing, and you don't see it too often. But just know, whenever you have to deal with something behind you, further away from the front, you have a time limit to return back. This is actually something that we touched on with the first clip with the Emma, when we were talking about attacking the Black Panther or holding that space. At that given moment, we couldn't leave that front area because we're busy. If we leave, we're getting it taken away from us. In this particular situation, the Penny was able to hold it for a duration, and we need to be able to get done and go back before they take over Penny's area. Because again, they see you when you're not there. Not really much you can do here. Let's ask ourselves a question. They did take 2 players out with Salak ult, but we are in the ult right now with Cloak and Dagger, both of them ulted. Let's actually see who ults first, because I did not pay attention to that. Who ulted first here? Okay, it was theirs. So we know that her ult, I think, is 11 seconds. Altogether, something like that. We already know that they ulted. We lost 2 players. Psylocke just ulted. They only have 1 support. I didn't even notice that. Do you guys think we should retreat from this area? Or we should try to hold? Looking at the characters that we lost, are either of those characters crucial to what we're trying to do? Is this one of those scenarios where we give up point? So here, we'll do this. We'll do this. Let's go to... Ooh. Let's go to the wall. Y'all know I like to use my walls. In this given situation, is it going to be A, leave, reset after they cap? B, leave, let them cap a bit, and then come back. C, remain holding to wait for the team. Which one do you guys think it is? Is it A, B, or C? Given the situation, what we just know, which one is it? It's B, leave, let them cap a bit, and then come back. Okay, okay. Ain't nobody looking for the A or the C? Ain't nobody looking for the A or the C? Nah, you guys pretty much got it. Yeah, we have to just give this up, regroup, and just see what happens. We have to read the situation and see what happens. Because we have to survive until our team spawns and comes back. So giving up the space, the fact that she ulted means we have a really healthy way to leave without taking too much damage. We would leave for a second, maybe go up there, whatever we need to do, just to read the situation. Can we re-engage? Is it possible? If not, we leave. If so, then we do it. Playing this out, we're banking on the Cloak and Dagger ult to, to keep us healthy. Because we didn't disengage, we got right over. And now we're ending up in a bad spot. Now let's look back and let's see, did we even survive long enough for our characters to get back? Or were they never gonna make it in the first place? Let's see if B was actually the right answer or not. So let's just say we leave, we come back, we go in, maybe like right now. Would we have been able to hold even re-engaging at this point? Or do you guys feel like, okay, maybe B wasn't it, maybe we should have just left and just let them cap and go back? Which one do you think? Do you guys still think it was B and it was possible? Or now that you see how it unfolded, we see people have ultimates, we see that they all got used, we probably wouldn't have survived that one anyway, and we probably should have just dipped out. I would say that given the fact that we had no ultimates that were game changing, we weren't able to do anything that we wanted to do. So this is one of those situational things, right? This is one of those situational things. What ult do we really have to prevent anything from happening? We don't have any turn the tides type of ultimates. We don't have any stalling ultimates. Yeah, we have the Pity's ult, but like, is that really a stall ultimate, especially if they could just focus her down? So given the situation, given the type of characters, given what they have to their disposal, or at the disposal, there wasn't really anything anyone can do. That fight was over because of the type of characters that we have, because of the type of abilities that each character has. If we had something like a Cat or a Hulk as a tank, and then maybe like our other healer was like Loki, maybe we had a DPS that was Black Panther or Spider-Man, there's more stall potential there. So we could leave, come back, attempt. But the fact that all these characters that we had on our team was very stationary, very easy to hit, doesn't really have anything to push them away, provide protection, anything like that. No ultimates to even stall out. There was nothing we could really have done. And if we go in later, we still get KO'd instantly because the type of characters that we have aren't sustainable characters. They will just get blasted whenever they're presented in front of an enemy team. So it is a situational thing. Sometimes you can hold it. Sometimes you can come back later. But in this particular scenario, it wasn't a way that we could have done that. Good thinking, though. I like what you guys are thinking. Okay, we know Cap just got eliminated here. This means that we could do a few things. We can either just continue to hold our ground or take advantage. You guys know for a fact that I always say after you get one pick, run it down. Take as much as you can. So let's see what happens. What happened? What happened there? Why weren't we able to run it down? We KO'd one person. Why did we lose that? There's two reasons why we lost this one. Actually, not just one. We funneled in the Moon Knight. True, we funneled in the Moon Knight. What did we talk about? What are shields used for? What are Magneto and Strange shields used for? They're used for protection, but what else? Is it to just protect all damage or certain damage? If we're protecting certain damage, what certain damage do they have that we know will obliterate the team? It would be Moon Knight. When he throws that onk, it's going to be a problem. Now, the second thing is that our team is already busy. We can hear the punches when we're playing, meaning that we cannot be aggressive right now because something is happening behind us. Does this mean we turn around and deal with them? No, right? We have numbers advantage, but it just means we can't play the game right now and take advantage. We have to chill out. So those are the two things that happened. We didn't have our shield on the damage that mattered the most, our left shift, and then we also just weren't paying attention to the fact that there's something behind us and we can't aggress anyway, even if we wanted to. It just wasn't the moment. There's a time and place for everything, and when you're playing a tank, taking space, remember, creating that space by getting them out, is something you need to make sure that your team are giving you enough resources to do. Resources are not just healing, they're not just shielding, but it's damage, it's the player count, it's the abilities at your disposal, it is also your health, it is also the healing, it's all of this put together. If we watch this back and we decide to take space, we're lacking the heals, you know, we're lacking the damage, because I don't think the Punisher is even here. Yeah, he was KO'd. So realistically, we don't have any tools at our disposal to do anything. Only hold. Understanding this from fight to fight to fight to fight basis will help you tremendously, because it will keep you in check. It will prevent you from doing some crazy stuff. Now, that wasn't all too crazy, but there are some times we do some crazy stuff sometimes. And the easiest way to prevent you from doing that is just kind of having that checklist in your head. Can I play the game right now? Can I progress? Can I move forward? No? Let me just chill then. How about now? Yes? Let's go. It's not just based off one pick. It's not just based off one ultimate. It's based off the situation and everything as a whole. This is why it's important to understand that big picture. This particular moment, they're not actually in any danger. They just need to shield and walk back. It already went south. We know it went south. Just shield and walk back and we're chilling. We didn't have to KO here. Luckily, we came back though. Okay, we're going back in. We're looking for the Psylocke. We already noticed that Strange was low well before Psylocke even got into our peripheral, which means we probably should have been focusing on the Psylocke there. What, right? Characters like Black Panther, Psylocke, Spider-Man, all these characters, the way that they generate space for their team is to make you have to look at them, basically, because this allows them, or this allows the team to come out and push while you're distracted back there. We don't need to look at her. She's not really a threat. The thing about, well, let me ask you this. This is going to be a kind of a deep thought type of question. So let me know what you guys think. But what exactly makes a character a threat? What makes a character a threat? When you see a character and you get scared of them, why? When you see a character, you take cover from them, why? What is it about them that makes them a threat? And it's not equal between every single character, so it's kind of like a no right or wrong answer. But what makes, if you could generally sum it up just for the sake of this question, what makes a character a threat? Would you VOD review a ranked game of mine? I've been losing so much elo lately. If you go to my recent the breakdown video and then put your VOD there, yeah, we can do that. Right now we're focused more on space, so we're just focusing on like that aspect. Their ability to disrupt their team, maybe, but is that really a reason why you get scared of something? Is because it disrupts you? If I'm playing Doctor Strange, right, and I'm walking up, why would you walk back from me? I can't really disrupt you. Well, why would you walk back? What is it? If I come in as Iron Fist, why are you walking back? If I come in as Psylocke, why are you walking back? Why do we respect players when they do something? Yeah, that's a very detailed answer, Ram. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is in a very detailed format. It's about their ability that they have. It's about their damage that they have. It's about their positioning that they have. And then also, what do you have to counter that, right? This is why we get scared. This is why we back up. If you're playing, I don't know, Cloak and Dagger, and you have your bubble, how scared are you versus when you're playing Cloak and Dagger and you don't have your bubble? If you're playing Cloak and Dagger and you have your float cloak ability, how scared are you versus when you don't have it? It's more than just the character being there. There's more to it on why we should react. As a tank, your attention being moved around is one of the most important things that we need to pay attention to. If we do it too much, our whole entire team gets ran over and we don't get to play the game. This is why I bring it up, and this is why it's so crucial. So, looking at it from the Magneto's perspective once more, in this scenario that forces us to turn around, not even turn around, but just in the scenario that forces us to look at her, why? We let her go. Okay, like I want to do damage to prevent her from going to my backline. Perfectly okay, whatever, right? Then she dips. From this moment on, what threat does she have on your team right now? She just dashed. That's one. That's one of it, because she has two. She just dashed. She just went invisible. You can hear she says sayonara. What does she have left? You also did a little bit of damage on her, so she's probably not going to stick around. Now, she could go for the Cloak and Dagger, but that's not your job. You can shield her if you can, but at this moment, it doesn't seem like she's going to KO Cloak and Dagger. At that moment, it's just, I want to get past you. I don't know what you're about to do, but you can only deduce that she just wants to get past you. You don't have any other information. Is her getting past you a direct threat right now, or are the guys trying to push your team down a direct threat right now? This is the challenging part about being a tank. Not all threats are created equal, and sometimes you really do have to know which one is more important to deal with at that given time. So me being scared means I'm out of position too much. It means you're out of position, or it could mean that you're out of your abilities, but also the enemy could just be really good. There's sometimes you just can't do anything about it. But yes, your safety gauge is based off what you have at your disposal to prevent something from happening to you, basically. If you feel 100% safe, you're most likely in a very good position, and you most likely have abilities to deal with whatever threat comes your way. If you feel sketched out sometimes, it's because something's wrong. The second one, yep, the front line, yep. That's more important than that Psylocke. Let's even watch the Psylocke. What does she do afterwards?
Judge, jury.
So, did all of this prevent what Psylocke was going to do in the first place? Did all of this slow down her advances onto Cloak and Dagger? Did all of this do anything at all? The real hero of the story is the Cloak and Dagger. Why? She cloaked up, she put the bubble down, now she's focused on healing her team. That's the hero of the story. This is how high rank, I'm not saying that this player is high rank, but generally this is how high rank players work. It is not my job to protect you. Yes, sometimes if you're getting bombarded by bajillion the people, I have to do something. But in that given situation, in that one scenario, there is no world I would ever turn around. No world, because you can handle this. There is no world where I need to help you. Identifying when your backline needs you and doesn't is going to make you a better player. As a support player, identifying when you need help and when you don't is going to make you a better player. The bad support players, or the poor playing support players, are the ones who think they need assistance every single time anyone is in their bubble. Anyone is in their range. Oh my God, peel me. Those are the poor supports. The good supports understand that you're not going to help every single time, but there are some scenarios where I can't do it myself. Please help me. Those supports are the ones that are at high ranks, not the other ones. I would have trusted that player regardless. And if they would have KO'd, it is what it is, bro. I can't, there's more pressing matters to attend to other than this. If you can't handle this, well, you shouldn't really be climbing. I'm not trying to talk about this character or this person particularly. I just mean when I play, when I climb, when I'm tanking, there's certain scenarios that I know I can easily register. And granted, I play all roles, so I understand it more than like an average player because they don't spend all their time playing my rivals. But I can identify like, hey, you got this. If you don't have this, bro, I wouldn't tell you. Like, I guess we just lose because you can't play the game. I wouldn't turn around. Let's see how long it takes for them to even do anything. Oh look, Wolverine goes on there. Looks for an ult. Gets nothing accomplished. KOs. What did you do that caused that to happen? Nothing. Nothing at all. This is how you improve at tank. Identifying the situations. I knew for a fact they weren't going to get KO'd. I knew for a fact I did not have to help. And look what happens. Look what happens when you don't bother with that. And you focus on what's more important. Them pushing into us is far more important at this particular time than them going to get you. I'm sorry, but if you get KO'd, it's because you were out of position or you did something wrong. Because the threat of what was in front of me was more than what's happening behind me. That right there is going to be the easiest way to improve at playing tank. I'm telling you right now. Now that the threat behind us is taken care of, we can go ahead and move forward. Should we go this far? Nah, we're kind of trolling. We should back up. When you're retaking space, because as the payload goes forward, right? Essentially, that space is being taken by the enemy. So, if we look at this, and like the payload pushes, right? We're retaking all this space back. Your goal whenever you're retaking space, whether it be on point, on domination, or on convoy convergence, your goal is to find the next location to hold up on. If we KO their team, that next point should not be here. Why? Real quick, why would we not want to hold in any of these spots? They're not bad spots, so I don't want that to be an answer. It's not, oh, because the spot is bad. It's not bad. But why would we not want to hold out in this location? If we KO their team, they spawn back and they come, and we were way back there, why can't we hold this area? Why can't we go from that point to here? It's too far. It's too far. Ramazan got it right. It's just too far. By time you get there, you're going to be intercepted. What cover do you have if you're sitting here? The goal is to get here, 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 but you can't make it because they spawn back too quickly. So instead of trying to get all the way back and cover that ground, when you're retaking space, you're micromanaging, you're micro taking space. Okay, next space is going to be here. If we can KO them again, next space is going to be here. If we can KO them again, maybe we move up a little bit further. This is how you take back space that was taken from you every single time. It doesn't matter if you're on attack, defense, convoy, domination. It does not matter. When you are retaking space, you need to take it in micro steps. Even if you don't KO, let's just say for some reason, you know, they lost the player and you push them back. Well, you're micro taking space. Take all this back and sit here. What happens when they get scared and they push further back? They didn't get KO'd, but they got scared. Micromanage and take the space here. You're micro taking space. This prevents a lot of confusion from your team because they don't need to think about, why is my tank walking 30 feet away from me? No, your team is already there. Most of the time when you're playing tank, they'll just follow you. If you go from point all the way to here and get KO'd, even if you don't get KO'd, your team is gonna be like, what are you doing? Why are you walking so far? But I guarantee you, if you do it slowly, they will follow you and don't even realize you're doing the same exact thing. They don't realize it. You're doing the same exact thing, but it makes more sense to them, even if they don't understand what you're doing in the first place, because you're taking it slow, because you're micro taking that space. Does that make sense, guys? That makes sense? Oh, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot.
I feel like myself again.
Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. This will be our last one here. Again, I'll be doing more of these. Just take a look for the community post. I'll also post it in my Discord when I do more of these. We'll talk about a different concept next time. Actually, I have two. I'll try to run through them both real quick. I have a coaching session after this. The person was nice enough to push it back just a little bit. So I'm gonna try to just kind of blaze through these ones. We learned a lot already, so this is going to be more of just like a rehash about what we talked about. All right, here we go. Moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next one, we're playing The Thing, looks like.
30 seconds before you attack.
Let me reread what their thing was, because I had everybody write what they were kind of struggling on, and I'm trying to like incorporate it as I go.
This comes first,
Practically matched.
even when it's
This is
shiny.
haute couture, darling. Designed by Jumbo Carnation himself.
Oh, my costume just kind of came with my powers.
And I'm practically seething inside about how good it looks.
The battle starts in 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I enjoy watching the stream more than playing the game. Well, that means a lot. I'm glad you like it. My goal is not to always be right about stuff and everything. It's just to get your brain thinking about different things. You're never gonna hear me say things like, oh, I'm right, listen to me, listen to me. No, I just want you to think in your, I want you to think about things and then put them and mold them how you see fit. All right, so they did teleport behind us, unfortunately. We can't really do much about this. What did we just kind of talk about in that last clip? We talked about space and we talked about retaking the space. We talked about what happens if they push us back off that space. We should look for somewhere else to hold next, right? This is to prevent the chain taking space. This is a really nice spot for them to hold. They have cover, it can break, but they do have cover, and they also have high ground should they push you off. Thinking about it from this perspective, we already lost this fight. We're not in any position to take this fight. So now thinking about it on that perspective, what should we do? Before we play this out in its entirety, should we try to hold here? Because the walls can break, but it's still kind of an equal footing cover. Should we try to hold here? Should we maybe try to go in here and like wrap around? I'll number them. So we have 1, try to hold here. 2, maybe do something crazy, try to wrap around. 3, maybe go this way and try to hold that angle. Or 4, we kind of walk down and force them to come lower, you know, force them to come out towards us and kind of play on that equal foot. Which one do you think it is? Do you think it's 1, 2, 3, or 4? Yeah, it's definitely 4 because remember, our goal is to make it easier for our team. It's not just us. Is it easier to get them to try to navigate through areas and get on your same thought process, or is it easier to just say, hey, back up, guys? Right? So not only is it the easier answer, but it's also just the one that's kind of a little bit more structurally sound. Now, regardless of like the stair breaking thing, you see what happens when you fight in an area like this. If they need to retreat, they have way more cover to handle. With you retreating with your team, you don't have any. You're gonna have to fall, and when you fall, that separates it. This is why we don't want to take the fight here, because we're just at a major disadvantage. Now you're trying to salvage it, but we're still trying to salvage it in a spot that we don't want to salvage it in anyway. You just want to like dip out. Now I like that we're trying to look to go for their backline because they are definitely really, really out of position. But what do we notice? At this particular moment, Iron Man's doing the same exact thing. Behind us, we know that they have 2 tanks. So we're essentially trading here. We're saying, well, you know, who has a better chance of winning this fight here? And realistically, I would think it's you. But you'd have to commit like hardcore. Fun fact, you do more damage not doing what you're doing with your alternate fire. You do more damage with the punch combo, your primary fire, than you do your alt fire. I actually tested this. The damage is the same, but it comes out quicker with your primary fire. So when you're playing the thing, yeah, you don't get a shield, but you're not looking for a shield, you're looking to KO. So when you're playing the thing and they're near you already, you're not trying to lunge, just punch them. It's way faster. I timed it by seconds, and I think it's 4. I think it's 5 to 6 seconds to alt fire get them down, and then the punch them get them down. It's like 3 to 4. It's like 3.5. So it is drastically shorter than just doing that. Yeah, I test a lot of stuff sometimes for no reason. I'm that type of guy. I was just curious when I was maining the thing for a while. I was like, So even right here, he's already in your face, just punch him. All right, so when you jump back, you have to keep in mind you're giving up space. The thing about dive tanks, and we discussed this a little bit before, is that every single time you jump back, you are essentially saying, have the spot that I just left. So when you do this, you need to think about, is that space worth giving? And can you get back to it in time? That's the question here. Yeah, if you're holding an angle, or if people are a little bit, like if you need reach, basically. But if they're already in your face, just punch them. So we jump away, and we already know that they're gonna collapse on this. Did we need to jump away, or did we just randomly jump away? This is a problem with the thing, because everything you do is so... it has such a high commitment to it. Everything he does, the run, the jump, everything is like committed. And so when you do split second decisions, try to turn and analyze before you click the button. For this brief moment, are you needed? If your thought process was to turn around and look real quick, like boom, do you need me? And that was your reason to go jump. Looking at it now, do you think they need you? I'll get to that in a second, Chill, because I want to talk about that too. But just this given moment, do they need you? No. It's a 3v1. There's no healer in range. You already took out one of them up there. They're pretty much chilling, right? Now, when we look at this situation and we look at your HP, do you need health? No. In what world do you get KO'd? That dude's lower than you. If she outsteps her boundaries, just alt fire her and she will just get KO'd herself. You could 2v1 this. Also, there's cover. If you really need to, just do this. Handle the 1v1. You don't need to jump. Fight. You give up a little bit of space. If she walks up, boom. And you keep that 1v1. Iron Man is up there too, so he's going to help you eventually. It was just space given up for no reason. And this is why dive tanks are kind of difficult to play, because everything that they generally do is very like split second decision making. All the other characters that aren't dive characters don't need to think on the spot, but dive characters need to think and instantly react. Otherwise, there's no reason to be called a dive character. You could call him a brawler if you want. Like, I know that's a thing, but I call them all dive characters. Realistically, this dude should not have walked in. That was kind of troll, but you got away with what you shouldn't have gotten away with 2 times. One was here, the other was there. And I know in your comment you said that you wanted to climb higher, and this is an alt account. How do you improve on something where you just, oh, we got away with it because you're not that great? How? How do you improve on something where you only got away with it because they weren't good? No, I didn't really. That was natural habit, honestly, but you're right. I could have just finished them off. Yeah, you could have. You could have for sure. And this is why we practice, right? This is why we get that repetition down. But this is also why we take initiative. I was saying the same thing to Dream when we were looking at his story gameplay. There's a lot of stuff that you can improve on, but unless you take initiative, it's hard to improve. You can't really improve on anything if you're not trying to get out your comfort zone. Running back, same scenario. Why? Just continue to fight her, hug the wall. Because they are going to come forward. Here's a great, I don't know how many of you guys play MOBAs. Not MOBAs, I'm sorry. MMOs. But there is a trick that you can do. Every single MMO is coded this way. And it doesn't even have to be an MMO. Most NPCs or bots or whatever you want to call them are coded this exact same way. Here's a little trick. If, let's just say there's an archer or a healer, whatever, ranged characters back there, and there's a melee character here. If you walk out, you are going to get smacked by all of them. The trick in how they are coded is that if you walk behind cover, the back line is going to start walking forward and trying to meet the melee character as well. So now you have all three of them sitting right on top of each other. That's how bots are coded. Now the funny part is, not in every game, but most of them, the funny part is that's how we're programmed. What happens if we're trying to snipe or fight the guy and he's in cover? We're gonna try to get into a location where we can hit him, right? Use that. If we're playing against the people that are healers up there, right? And we took Emma Frost around this corner, what are they gonna have to do? Where are they gonna go? They're either gonna have to go this way, or they're gonna have to go this way, or they're gonna have to go this way. When we're playing tank, we're looking for picks if possible. We need to be ready for a pick. We can't really get a pick if they go up here. But if you guys decide to do some crazy stuff and come this way, we can get a pick. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Are they in pick radius? Disregard the I was gonna say the misfortune. Oh. Disregard the invisible woman. Oh. Are they in pick radius? Should that have been your plan from the get-go? Yeah. They were already in pick range. Look at her. Look at her. Now you can't take out the invisible woman. It's impossible. Right? She had ult, she jumped, whatever. But we know that a mobile target is this one. We know that she's getting ready to walk. So if we were chilling right here, we were punching and we were scanning, as soon as she got to the bottom of those steps, we charge at her, smack her up, and then try to fight her. Now you are gonna get focused, but this is why we pay attention to who's around us. What we're doing right now is scanning that. Who's around us? Who's around us? We're looking, we're looking. Okay, I can go for this. If it's too far away, let's just say you saw Emma doing this, well then obviously she's blocking your sight. So, you know, you might not be able to go too ham, but you could definitely walk out, boom, boom, boom. Should you get low, don't use your jump to jump away, just run away. And run back into the team. But what you just did is chunk the crap out of her. It also basically made it so that she has to focus on healing, or she throws a bubble down on herself. She doesn't have a bubble. How does she heal her entire team if they were fighting you right now? You can't. So sometimes there's more to the match than just getting KOs. Sometimes you're looking to just burn out abilities. If there's a fight that takes place and Cloak and Dagger doesn't have her cloak ability or her bubble, she's not really a character at this point. And an invisible woman, she's always a character, unfortunately. But if we can get the jump out and maybe someone else can go ahead and do some damage, they'll be able to take her out because she used her jump. There's a lot that can be done when you really think outside the box. You just did it, but did you do it because you thought about it, or did you do it because she was so out of position it was hard to miss? Be honest with yourself here. What's up, Martin? Good to see you. Be honest with yourself here. Was this because, oh, I knew for a fact you were walking this way, or is it because you're trolling? Like, it's easily noted that that was an accident. It was a happy accident. You happen to be there. But the players that climb, the players that carry matches on support, DPS, or tank are already thinking like this because you're going to make those mistakes. It's just they so happen to make it again. This is what happens when you climb. Low rank makes mistakes all the time. The more you climb, the less mistakes they make. We all make them, we're human, but it just doesn't happen that often. So if you can get into the mindset of abusing the mistakes before they even make them, and you know it's gonna come eventually, how are you gonna get from the top of those stairs? How are you gonna get from the top of the stairs to the bottom? You have to walk. There's no other way. That's a mistake. They could have taken the longer way, which is this way, and just been a lot more safe. They could have, but they didn't. And then you capitalize on it because you were already thinking about it. This is how you stomp those type of games. Everyone is so afraid to make things happen because they're so afraid. And I'm not saying it's you, but I just mean in general. Everyone is so afraid to make things happen because they're afraid to get flamed. They're afraid that their team is going to be mad. But I guarantee you, the ones that are at the top of the ladder right now are the ones that weren't afraid to make some stuff happen. They weren't afraid to get KO'd 30 times in a row. That's kind of an over exaggeration, but you get what I'm trying to say. They were not afraid. When you watch me play, I'm not afraid. I will run it down in some silver games. Not intentionally. I'll just do something because I want to test it to see if it's doable, limit testing, and I'll KO myself. Do I care? No. It is what it is. I was actually playing some games last night in quick play, super tired, just relaxing, you know, just enjoying the rest of my night. And I was flamed in quick play. Someone was, at the end of the round was like 0-2. And I'm just thinking, bro, this is quick play. What are you on about right now? Another guy was like, for a guy that has YouTube in your name, popping often, you're not popping. And I'm just like, what are y'all on right now? Bro, it's late. It's 2 a.m. I was up late last night. It's 2 a.m. I'm playing quick play and I'm chilling. What? But at the same time, there's no pressure for me to play out my mind. Why do I care that you're gonna flame me? I don't care, dude. I'm just chilling. That's the type of mindset you want to be when you're improving. You don't care because you're not going to be in this rank for that long. That's the point that I want to get out. So the more proactive that you are, the more you learn. Now, don't be proactive and just do dumb stuff. That's kind of troll. Don't be that guy. But if you're like, I want to try to take space up here because I want to hold the angle with my alt fire as the thing. Try it. They break this wall, they bum rush you, you get KO'd. Well, I know not to do that anymore. Maybe I can hold somewhere else. Or maybe hold it, and then as they move forward, drop down. Boop. I'm safe. Oh, I could try that next time. This type of stuff is also able to be transferred to other characters, to other roles, and to other maps. Getting the repetition of just trying stuff every single time, as long as it makes some type of sense, you'll learn from it. Every time. Every time. The thing is, you don't want to... That was not a pun. I just literally meant to say that. But the thing is, we focus too much on the obvious. Oh, I shouldn't have KO'd there. I shouldn't have wasted my ult. I shouldn't have wasted my ult there. I shouldn't have... But that type of stuff gets better as you play subconsciously. You just get better naturally. You know, if you first time play the thing, even without thinking about it, I'm pretty sure by like the 10th or the 15th time playing the thing, your ults are going to be better. Not because you're actively thinking about, I should ult. You're just like, oh, well, I know that it hits a lot of people. Maybe I wait until a lot of people are together. Boom. Simple. But the stuff that you can't really do without actively thinking about it is holding those angles, holding choke points, going for picks. You have to do this repeatedly and sometimes fail to really get the understanding. Oh, I went for the invisible woman, but she jumped away. Next time I do that, I'm gonna need to pay attention more about where she jumped to, or maybe save an ability that I know that I can hit her with. As an example, Star-Lord. I know how to get to an invisible woman with Star-Lord and take her out, because what I'll do is I'll run at her and just shoot her. Wait for her to jump, start spinning. With Captain America, run at her, wait for her to jump, throw my shield on the ground in the direction that she hopped into, it'll reveal her again. All this stuff was trial and error. Like, there's no way. I had to get myself beat by a invisible woman outplaying me repeatedly until I figured it out. That's the main goal. Try it, try it, try it, try it, try it.
Extra defense never hurts.
Okay, hold this choke. Try not to give the space. The thing about the thing is his range is really short. So you can't hold certain spaces. This goes for Captain America, Hulk, Thor. They don't really have a good job holding long range spaces. So how you would get around this is by holding a space that requires them to get really, really close to you. So let's go ahead and do our thing. And let's see. Is it better to hold space here at 1, hold space here at 2, hold space here at 3? Where should we hold the space if we want to hold this choke to prevent them from getting back to point? I guess you could say 4 down there. There's like a little space down there you can try to hold as well. 4. Where do you guys feel like the best space to hold is? You think 2 or 3? Okay, so let's go ahead and play this out. Sitting at 2. If I walk out, I know you're there and I do this. Are you close enough to do damage to me? No. So it's not 2. If I walk out here, are you close enough to do damage to me? No. If we're here, are you close enough to do damage to me? Or for me to do damage to you, I'm sorry. Yeah. Right? They're really close. Here? Really close. They have to walk past you, honestly. You cover this whole entire thing with your alt fire. So it's going to be here because you're closer. I probably wouldn't hold here in particular, but it's a really good way to get out. But like, you don't really have cover should they just round that corner. But this you do. And as they walk out, aggress a little bit, boom, 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 and then just walk back a little bit. The cool part about this spot too is you have a good place to jump back to your team. But let's play it out. But we definitely don't want to do that. That was spooky. That was spooky. Yeah, so we kind of just didn't do anything and just let them push forward. Another thing that I want to talk about, just being a tank player in general, is that all of your actions have consequences. And what I mean by this is how you approach every situation, your team is going to follow up in whatever you decide to do. If I'm playing Doctor Strange and I'm pushing out slowly like this, my team is going to probably follow with caution, but they're going to follow. When you're playing a dive tank, when you just hop in like that, they're expecting you to like fight. They're not expecting you to run away. They're expecting you to fight. And so when you do this and then you run away, you're saying, oh, by the way, I was kidding, guys, have fun. And you're behind everybody now. Don't do this. Even in high ranks, when I dive and then I leave, I do it very slowly. I do it meticulously. Even when I'm playing like Magneto or Doctor Strange, once again, meticulously. I know for a fact if I do it too fast, you might not register that I'm leaving. This is why you need to give yourself enough HP to play with. You need to give yourself enough time to play with. If we were to play that stuff back and I ran in there, I'm gonna boom, boom, jump, back up, jump, punch, back up, jump, punch, back up, jump, punch, back up. By the time I'm here, your team registers, you're not trying to fight anymore. It is not as quick of a disengage as what you just did, which caused your entire team to get out of formation for you. So just think about that when you guys are playing these dive characters, or just characters that might want to retreat a little bit quickly, or a little bit quicker. You want to try to pace yourself and understand that your team is going to do whatever you're doing. And it takes a second for them to register it because it has to get through your screen to their screen, which takes about like half a second. It's not that much, but it does mean something. Then they have to see it. Their brain has to calculate what's even happening. And then they have to process it. And then they have to put it out into their controller. And the controller then has to make the command, or PC, mouse, whatever. Then after that, it has to be picked up in the game. You put all of this together, that's a span of like 5 seconds maybe before they even realize what you just did. If you jump that quick, somebody's getting KO'd. And that's exactly what happened to that Emma. She couldn't react to you in time because now you're putting her on the back foot. How do I even react to this? I didn't even want to be here, bro. I didn't want to be here. I did it because of you, and I don't have a backup plan. Well, I'm KO'd. All because of you. So just be a little bit more mindful when that happens, because that does happen. When I'm solo tanking, which is most of the time, should I even be that aggressive or just command the space more and make them come to me more? You shouldn't be aggressive. Yeah, for the most part, you are just looking to play back. Solo tanking is really just about staying healthy and holding that space. If you gotta give it up, you gotta give it up. But the thing about solo tanking is that you're allowing your team to play with 3 DPS characters, and 3 DPS characters means that they have a much higher pick potential. If you have 3 healers on your team, then that means you have a much higher, you have much more leeway to take damage because they're going to be healing you a lot more. And so when you have 3 DPS, a little bit more conservative, let them kind of do their thing. When you have 3 healers, you can kind of be a little bit more crazy, but just remember the fact that if you get taken out, you are going to potentially just lose the fight for your entire team. It's a very hard thing to get down pat, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty rough, but yeah. I think this one's from you, Ram. This will be the last one that we do. I think this is from you, Ram, but I don't know if your name is numbers. I didn't think so. So which one, if you're here, Ram, which one is you? If you're not here, then we'll just skip it because I don't know which one is you, but you put numbers as your name. Oh, never mind. It's Groot. I could tell because their name on the YouTube profile is the same. All right, let's run it back. We'll do this. This will be the last one today, and we'll wrap it up. Big appreciation to OG Kraken for
Pick your hero.
pushing the time back for us so I can wrap it up with you guys before their session. Okay.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
So I'm just gonna address this. I didn't address it with any other player in their response, but this particular person asked when they should switch from a frontline tank to a dive tank. And dive tanks can still play like a frontline, but it's just a little bit more difficult to do it. So if you really enjoy one dive tank and that's your man or woman and you really love it, well, play it and just alter. But if you're someone who can flex, then yeah, switching from dive tank to a frontline tank is definitely something you want to learn how to do. Generally speaking, when I switch to Strange, it's because there's a lot of AoE or snipers. If my team cannot understand how to go from cover to cover to approach the point, I will play Strange to alleviate some of that stress from them. If I swap to Magneto, it's really just to protect one person because they clearly cannot stay relevant. It's pretty much it. When to play a dive tank, it's when they're playing characters that are very camp heavy and nobody on your team is able to deal with it. You want to play a dive tank to just snuff them out. That's pretty much the synopsis to like when you should pick one or the other. Like I said, play who you want, but that's pretty much what I think about. So I dropped the portal and immediately we're walking out. And now, cool part about this is that, I mean, this is gonna be rough regardless, but a cool part about this is that all this space that you have is technically yours, all right? It's yours there, it's kind of yours over there. When you start attacking them from this angle, you're gonna push them back. Remember, every single character has a bubble around them, right? So Venom's bubble is gonna be bigger than like a Cloak and Dagger's bubble, whatever, but every character has like a little bubble around them. If we use this properly, we could force them to leave their front line. Being in front of them means that we're not going to let them be able to heal. Let's see how we play this out though. You see how the way that we played it, now this was kind of over before I started, but just for the sake of understanding, you see how we played it where we forced them into their team? That's not necessarily what you want to do all the time. You want to try to get it so that if you can get between them, especially on a tank like Venom, because you can get away so easily, and you're forcing them back away from their team, that's probably the best bet. Instead of pushing them to their team, because they can just play around their team. This is equivalent to what we saw with the Thor gameplay from Dream. You would push them in, and it didn't really accomplish much. I know, like, in theory, it seems like, well, if you're in the front and I'm in the back, we got them. But that's not really how it is in Marvel Rivals. And So you gotta be careful because sometimes you're not a threat enough to even
Capture the mission
do
area.
anything from the back like that. This is why a lot of the time when I play Venom, you'll see me kind of troll. I'll go in and then leave instantly because I just know there's not anything I can really do. But I still want you to know that I'm here. So we saw that Venom decides to dive our left side. And we're just trying to approach point. When we're playing a dive character, we really want to try to create the space, because you can't really create the space pushing forward as much. You can if you're playing something like Thor, because he has to, you know, you got to respect the lightning shots, right? Or playing something like, what's his face? Strange, because you're walking forward. But there's not really a way to do it with like Hulk or Venom and stuff like that. So the best way is to dive. You need to get back there. Cap is another one. You're not just gonna walk backwards by being a threat right here, you know? It's not scary. You need to be in my face. It's for me to be like, oh, I gotta move. So how you would do this when you're playing any dive tank is you have to herd them like cattle. I don't usually talk about this when I play them, when I play any dive tanks, but I'm gonna bring it up now. So you wanna herd them like cattle. If you've ever seen cattle be herded, when you approach them, they move in whatever direction you approach. Even if it's a video game, like if you've ever played Red Dead Redemption or something like that, when you push, the cattle then moves forward. If you push this way, it moves that way. If you push and wiggle around sideways, then the cattle starts moving that way. You kind of get what I'm saying? So that's how you want to play when you're playing Hulk, Captain America, whatever. You want to try to herd them in a disadvantageous position for your team. If we look back and we see our team, at this given point, there's not really a way, even before we got here, there's not really a place you can move them that'll be advantageous to your team. They're already focusing on other stuff. So how would you move them? It wouldn't be to the team, it'd be away from the team, and you would want to break their line of sight. So if we were watching, or not watching, I'm sorry, if you're typing, if you're there, if we were to hop down, where would we herd them? Would we hop down right on the middle and push them kind of outwards? That's one. We'll just say one is pushing them out. So push out. Would we hop in front of them and push them kind of this way? We'll say two is to push them to the right. So push right. Or will we hop in and push them this way? So like hopping kind of like in the front of them, like we did with the second one, and push them to the left. And we'll say three would be push left. Where is probably the best place to go if we're gonna try to create space with Venom in this dive scenario? So gonna be push them out and just separate them, push them to the right to get them further away from my team, or push them to the left to put them over there in that little area over there. We also kind of have to think about Storm, but we'll talk about her later. You think push to the right? Okay, cool. Now, if we think about that, if we think about pushing to the right, look at their healers. Do these healers have unlimited range? Yes or no? If you don't know, you don't know. But like, does Loki and Luna have unlimited range, more or less? Yes. So pushing them to the right does what? This is what we know as a line of sight. The only way that we would counter this is by getting them to herd over here. You're not trying to get KOs. You're trying to move them to prevent them from healing. That is what we're trying to do. Every time you dive, there is a different thing you have to do each time. It is not the same. It is not, I dive in and get KOs. I dive in and distract by everybody. No, you're diving for a specific reason every single time you dive. This is why dive characters are difficult. But this is also why you don't spam dive, because it's unhealthy. But let's see what happens. So we don't really go for a dive and we just stand there. As I said before, Venom's not scary. He's only scary if he's on you. Dive characters are really only scary if they're there. You're too far away to be scary, which is why they don't care, right? So we didn't really accomplish anything being there other than just looking at the people. So I was at work. No problem, no problem. I was able to piece the names together because you put numbers for your name when you submitted the clip. But I was able to be like, oh, that's your username. Okay, we go in. Now the bad part about this is we don't have our cooldown, so we're kind of just probably gonna get KO'd here. But same scenario. What will we do? We would want to herd them out of line of sight. However, there's no real reason to do any of this because our team already lost the fight. This is kind of just trying to like make up for what was lost, and it's not going to go well.
Your team's capture progress has passed the...
Now, we're not staggered, luckily, but we didn't really do anything but give them ultimate charge. Ultimate charge as a tank, if you're going to go in and dive like that, this is why people tend to have ults really quickly against characters like Thor, Venom, things like that. Because a lot of the times these players, well, I'm not saying you in particular, but just players in general that play these characters, they don't think about every time they're fighting and getting healed, you're still taking damage while allowing the enemy healer to heal, right? So you're basically just giving them free ult charge. And if your team is not even there, they're missing out on the chance to get ult charge. Now we're going in for the dive, but we realistically did not have enough time to process what even was happening in this fight. This is a failed dive from the start. The reason why it's a failed dive from the start is because we do not have an agenda. We're just doing that. If I'm out of my house right now, so I won't be able to answer much love. Oh, that's okay, that's okay. I'm doing this, you didn't even have to be here. I appreciate you being here for as long as you did. But I'm doing this so that it could be in the VOD format, so you can just jump to yours. Or if you missed any of the other ones, you could just watch those. That's why I wanted to do it on stream, so that way you guys can have your VODs as we talk about it. And they've been asking great questions and answering great questions too, so don't even worry about it. There's no agenda here at all. We just jump because it's too quick. There's no way we process that information on the camera. Like if you play it slow, and we just hop. What did we process? Our only thing that going through our head right now is let's get rid of Loki clones. That's like the only thing I can think of to allow you to jump in and assess the situation. We're going in, we're trying to do damage, we're trying to distract, but for what? What is your team doing at this moment? We don't know because we didn't look.
I am ready to put on a show.
We forced an ult out, but did we force an ult out because that was the intention, or did we force an ult out because they just happened to ult for no reason? They didn't need to ult. You weren't that scary at all. So we didn't accomplish anything. We kind of staggered our timers. And that's why dive tanks are just hard. They're not an easy thing to do. Because every single time you play the game, you have to think about what to do and why. Whenever you're going in for a dive, this is what you're usually thinking about. Okay, so we'll get our little tool here. Whenever you're going for a dive, it's usually something like this. One, create space by just moving people around and forcing them to look. Two, create space by moving them in a specific spot for your team. Three, create space by moving them in a specific spot to reduce damage / heals because they can't see, so we're just forcing them out of a line of sight situation. 4, cleaning up low targets. That's pretty much our goal most of the time. We're going in to just have people look at you and you just in the middle of them, which usually is not that often. You're not trying to always be in the middle. It's just something you have to do sometimes. If let's just say there's a Hela sniping my backline, well, I'm gonna have to dive when my team is ready to push. So that way it forces them to look at me. So as an example here, if I were to, let's just say Hela's here and her whole entire team is around here. If I dive onto the Hela, I am in the middle, but Hela's forced to back up and she's forced to look at me and fight. My intention is not to do anything other than to keep her attention on me. However, because I'm focusing on her, her team is also still starting to focus on me, which buys my team time to move in and do something. I'm not just hopping in for the sake of hopping in. I'm hopping in the middle to get to the Hela. Okay? That's scenario number 1. The other scenario, which would be number 2, is by moving them to a specific spot for your team. So let's just say we have a Hawkeye here, and there's a Hall, right? You have a Hawkeye there, and he's ready to snipe. Hela's ready to snipe. They're ready, dude. Moon Knight's ready. You have Luna. You know, they're all ready. They're all line of sight players. And we know that their team is behind cover. What you could do is you can go for a dive on one of them and stand here. What is the initial reaction to someone getting dove? It is to run away. You're not going to sit on top of the diver. Even if you run away just a little bit to circle around, but you're going to move. You're not going to just sit there. So if I do that, I sit behind them and that forces them out. When that forces them out like that, what does that do? That makes it so that my team has complete line of sight of that person that I just forced out. That is enough to KO. That is enough to get the pick. Okay? So when we're forcing them to move people around and forcing them to look, to a specific spot for your team, we push them out so they can have that effective line of sight. Again, we talked about the other way for like the Luna Snow. Well, if they're in the same spot that my team is, then we want to get in their face to push them around the corner. What this will do is going to allow, if there's people behind us while we're pushing them out, it's going to allow their team to get focused down by my team while also preventing their team from healing their team. Okay? And the last one is just kind of playing the game and just chilling, like you usually see me do with Venom or Cap. I'm just chilling. And as soon as someone's low enough, I'm going to go in, boom, take them out, and then rinse and repeat. You're just chilling, you're relaxing. You're not really trying to make anything happen because sometimes you realistically can't. So those are usually the reasons why you want to go for dives. Now there's more to it, but those are just really good basic things to understand. All right, so we're playing Groot. Oh no, we swapped back to Venom, okay. I personally have easy swing on Venom. I know some people might not like that, but easy swing I found is better for me, especially in panic moments. I don't have it for Spider-Man, but if you feel like you have a better time using easy swing on Venom, use easy swing. It's totally preference though. You have more control. You have more control on regular, or not regular, but you have more control when it's off. But I just panic a lot more. And I like to go in and go out as fast as possible, and easy swing allows it.
I am ready to put on a show.
Okay, so right here, we're trying to lock them up, trying to do damage. Fortunately, she's in ult, so we have to be a little bit more careful. Okay, it just ran out. Perfect. What I don't like is how we created the space and you block them out of it, right? Because as you walk forward, they walk back. That's what creating space is. You have a bubble around your character. But we know that when they're going to leave, where are they going to go? This way or this way. Your thing is already right here, so we should be here. That way they have to walk through you to run away. That's a free KO for you. I don't know if Luna survives, but if she does, it's because you didn't position more to the left to prevent her from leaving. That's the problem with Groot. The Groot is able to block them from leaving away, but that's also just kind of a way to make space for free. So you have a bonus way to make space. She gets away because we didn't utilize our tools as efficiently. But that's what happens. And it happens, don't worry about it. It's just something to think about when you're playing. right here. I do like that you're going for the fight, but remember, your walls created space already. Occupy it. This is one of those things where when you're playing Groot, you're not really necessarily looking to force it. You're just looking to create with the walls, and then if they leave, you take it. So in this particular scenario, we put up the walls, which then forced people back, right? People are over there. Luna just got KO'd. We should take this space. What we want to do when we have this space is we want to continue to fight the Doctor Strange, but fight him in cover. So we're going to do something like this. Boom, boom, boom. Because you're still holding space, even if you're turned around. I don't care if the Groot is not looking at me at this moment. You're in a spot where I can't walk through you. That's how this works. It doesn't matter whether it's for Groot, Doctor Strange, whatever, but when they give you the space, take it and then just fight in it. Because when you're here, you're allowing them to be able to reapproach the point, which they shouldn't be able to. They should run into you right now. Once again, this should not be happening. You should be over here. Luckily, he's by himself, but if he would have done this dive, which made everybody look at him, remember, we talked about this. This was one of them, where you make everybody look at you. This would allow his team to KO almost all of you, because you guys are all low. If you're standing here to intercept them, they wouldn't be able to capitalize on that venom. You'd be all right. This is why I said that things like this is what you're looking to do, because you can't rely on anyone else to do it when you're climbing. Maybe you get one of those games where it's like, oh, that's cool. Thanks, guys. You played it well. But most of the time you won't. And so you need to do something to pick up the slack. If I know that my team's going to get collapsed, why don't I intercept it so they don't? They don't have to do anything extra. And all I'm doing is moving into one location. Dropping down. This is going to be free space for them because obviously you're scared, you're backing up, but we also have the cloak and dagger ult again, so you can take it back. This one's kind of rough. So this is actually something we haven't talked about before, but you want to fight and occupy space at the same time. It's really weird, but you guys have seen me do it every now and then when I stream. Cloak and dagger took the space for you. Why are we still here? Fight while running away to occupy the other space. You're not always stationary. The goal isn't always to just focus someone and KO them. You're still trying to do what your job is as a tank to do, is to take space. Because look, all this they get to do because you weren't here. I mean, they might not KO because they're fighting in Cloak and Dagger's ultimate. But again, if your team isn't that great and you're allowing their entire team to just roll up on them and they're not that great, you're gonna lose because they're not that great. So you, again, just trying to alleviate a lot of the stress and pressure so that your team doesn't have to do a lot of work. So we're moving up forward, trying to take this space, which is fine. The thing is, you want more cover because you don't have any right now. Maybe play, trying to get out, there we go. Maybe you play a little bit right here. So you have some cover and you just dip a little bit lower, like that. And you go up to hit, come back down, go up to hit, come back down. But you should always be having some type of cover behind you. Yeah, you see how you're running away? Because you didn't have any cover when you went up there. I like it. Do not turn around. You need to continue to hold the space so they do not capitalize. Let's see what happens. You see? Just freely giving up that space to let Luna play, him play. But we could just get free KOs. It's similar to that Emma Frost situation. When the Emma Frost ulted and I was like, you could just kind of cut him off and do something similar to there. We can't stop the Storm ultimate. So why are we looking at it? Either she ults on top of you or she ults on your backline. Either way, there's no way you can protect that from happening. So do what you can do in that given situation, which was to block them. That's something you can do realistically. You can't, don't focus things that you can't control. It's impossible. Even here, Luna Snow is ulting, going around in a circle. You can't do damage to them. That's how the thing's designed, right? Is there any other situation you could kind of participate in? Let's see. Let's just check real quick. She ults. We've seen that Iron Fist went over there. We don't know what he's doing, but we know that he's over there. Is there anybody maybe over here? and I would just leave them. Your Invisible Woman has an ult up too, but I'd be looking to scan. I'd go back over here and see. Oh, would you look at that? Iron Fist is right there. Spider-Man is right there. Luna is over here. So if you went over here, Luna would retreat back over here and you would just have a free KO right then and there. And all you did was walk back to the spot because you didn't have anything else to do at that particular moment. That's an interesting type of game. Like I said before, that's not something you usually do where you fight and take space all the time, but it is something you want to do in your games if possible. So that way you're not just giving it up because you're trying to fight. If you can fight from over here while still holding the space behind you but assisting, do it. Don't walk over if you don't have to walk over, especially when you're playing a long range character like Groot or Doctor Strange or Magneto. You don't really need to leave to assist. So that's pretty much what we're given there. When you give space, usually when they have something that you can't contest, so like a Cloak and Dagger ultimate, well, just really any support ultimate, you might have to give the space to. Any ult like Storm, you know, there's a lot of ultimates that enforce space, and so you do need to respect them. But given the situation where Groot was way over there and Storm was like obviously going to ult to the back line, there's nothing you can do to protect them, and she's not taking your space at that point. So why are we moving? We don't have to respect it because she's not going to ult me. And if she does, well, then that's a good thing because my team is okay. So it's definitely a push and pull situation. Definitely a push and pull situation. But I would just say to start, think about what ultimates are dangerous. And that's usually what you got to respect. Because ults are generally what you're using to create space. Ults and abilities, not the body itself. All right, that concludes. How long did we stream? I didn't want it to be too long, so I hope it's like 2 hours. Almost 3, not too bad, I guess. Almost 4? No way. It's almost 4 hours deep. Holy, that's crazy. I didn't mean it to be 4 hours. That's wild. But but that is it for today. That was crazy. I had a good time though. That was it. Thank you guys for participating. I will do this again. Just make sure you pay attention to my community post and we'll talk about something else. And it's usually going to stem from Hear My Thoughts. So you should already know what topic's probably going to come next based off that episodic series of Hear My Thoughts. It's a new one. Check it out if you have it. I play and talk about what I'm doing at the same exact time to give you guys more points of reference about why I do specific things. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Again, if you guys want to help support the content that I create and you guys are really enjoying this, please consider becoming a member. Members are why I'm able to do this. So whenever you see them say, hey, you know, thank you, I appreciate that. Because it's them. It's all of them. They don't even, a lot of the times the members don't even want to participate. They're just doing it for you guys. So really thank them because, you know, without them, there is none of that. So we're going to be dipping out Ramazan with the super chat. Thank you. Much love. I appreciate it. We're going to be dipping out here. Stay tuned for the next one that we do. And as always, if you got any questions or anything like that, let me know in the Discord. I'm always there chatting it up with you guys. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your night or day whenever you're watching this. And until next time, you know what I say. You guys are doing what? Popping often. Will often. Peace, peace, late, late, guys. And this will be in its own playlist, by the way. So the more I do, it has its own playlist. You don't have to search through all my streams. It'll be in its own playlist. You can watch all of them there. So just know that that's going to happen. All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. It was great. And no problem for doing it. You guys deserve it. You guys are awesome. Peace, peace.